L Chapter 1-1. Poor, truly poor. Sundown. Shishui City, the Hong family martial arts hall. A burly, middle-aged man swept his gaze over the young men and women in the martial arts hall, his expression naturally imposing. He was Hu Tianwei, the instructor in charge of supervising the cultivation of the Hong family's younger disciples. Due to his fiery temper, he was known as the Tiger Instructor. The Tiger Instructor bellowed, "On the path of a martial artist, talent is certainly important, but relentless effort is the true foundation for reaching the peak. All you lot know how to do is slack off. You disappoint me. Why can't you all learn from Hong Yu?" He raised a hand and pointed to a corner of the martial arts hall. In that seemingly secluded spot, a figure in brown robes sat quietly in a cross-legged position. His hands were pressed together, his eyes shut tight, as if he had entered some profound state. The figure was that of a young man with dark hair and a handsome face, framed by sword-like brows and star eyes. His refined features held a trace of youthful innocence. At this moment, a current of air tinged with a faint red halo enveloped the young man. The halo swirled around him, circle after circle, giving him a rather sacred and solemn appearance. Within that red light, it seemed as if an energy containing profound mysteries was entering the young man's body, lending his entire being a more heroic and martial bearing. Hong Yu came from a side branch of the Hong family. He was one of the most ordinary branch disciples, with no background to speak of. According to the Hong family's rules, side branch disciples were not permitted to study and cultivate in the martial arts hall, but Hong Yu was an exception. A year ago, the Tiger Instructor had made a special exception and recruited him into the martial arts hall for systematic cultivation guidance, citing his hard work, diligence, and ambition. After entering the martial arts hall, Hong Yu continued to cultivate as diligently as ever, which greatly pleased the Tiger Instructor. In contrast, the other young masters and ladies of the martial arts hall were arrogant about their own talent and lazy in their cultivation, much to the Tiger Instructor's displeasure. He often compared them to Hong Yu, which made them particularly resentful, to the point that they had even come to hate him. Seeing the Tiger Instructor bring up Hong Yu to lecture them again, the eyes of the various young masters of the Hong family revealed their impatience and disgust. "That damn guy, why does he have to train so desperately for no reason? Now we're getting chewed out by the Tiger Instructor again because of him." But Hong Yu was completely unaware of all this. He remained immersed in his diligent cultivation. Phew. After a long while, he finally stopped cultivating, wiped the hot sweat from his forehead, and let out a long breath. "Hong Yu, come here," the Tiger Instructor said. Under the hostile gazes of the young masters and ladies, Hong Yu walked up to the Tiger Instructor with a slight smile on his face. He was not the simple 14 or 15-year-old boy he appeared to be. In reality, the soul residing in this body came from Earth, where he had once been a tech otaku. His greatest talents had been researching Japanese, art films, and the philosophy of human existence. 5 years ago, he had heroically sacrificed himself to save a drowning child. When he woke up, he found he had transmigrated into this strange new world. After several years of adjustment, Hong Yu had accepted his new identity, the unwelcome side branch disciple of the Hong family, Hong Yu. "Instructor," Hong Yu said respectfully. Having lived 2 lives, he was a little suspicious of the Tiger Instructor's reasons for favoring him simply due to his diligent cultivation. But he had to admit that the Tiger Instructor had given him a great deal of help over the years, and Hong Yu still respected him quite a bit. The Tiger Instructor patted Hong Yu's shoulder in satisfaction, an inscrutable look in his eyes. He took out an azure pill from his robes and handed it to Hong Yu. "This is a reward for your diligent cultivation." A nourishing essence pill. Hong Yu was stunned. The human body contains primordial veins, and martial artists specialize in cultivating them. One could say that the primordial vein is the very foundation of a martial artist. The nourishing essence pill was a precious pill used to nurture the primordial vein. Even for the high-status disciples in the martial arts hall, it was a reward they could only receive from the family upon breaking through to a new realm. Yet the Tiger Instructor had given such a precious pill to Hong Yu without a second thought. This caused the eyes of many onlookers to burn with envy. "Keep up the good work. I look forward to you making even more progress," the Tiger Instructor said with a smile. "Thank you, Instructor." Hong Yu nodded, feeling a little emotional inside. Back on Earth, I'd get scolded for not being good enough even if I scored a 90 on a test. Now, all I have to do is show my fourth layer of the Essence Realm cultivation to get such an amazing reward. These two worlds really are completely different. Alright, that's enough cultivation for today. Everyone, dismiss. The tiger instructor waved his hand, and the crowd immediately scattered. Although many coveted the nourishing essence pill, it had been bestowed by the tiger instructor himself. Snatching it was absolutely out of the question. Time to go home. Hong Yu put away the nourishing essence pill and turned to leave. Just then, an arrogant voice suddenly called out from behind him, "Hong Yu, you stop right there." Hongyan. Hong Yu frowned. "What do you want?" This guy named Hongyan was also a side branch disciple, but his status was much more distinguished than Hong Yu's. He was the study companion for Hong Lin, the grandson of the Hong family's seventh elder. On a normal day, relying on Hong Lin's shelter, the other clan members would give him some face, and Hongyan was no stranger to throwing his weight around and bullying people. For example, bullying Hong Yu. Hongyan smiled arrogantly. "Of course I have business with you." He paused, then continued, "We just saw that you received a reward from the tiger instructor, so a few of us brothers came over to congratulate you." "Thanks. Can I go now?" Hong Yu asked. There were two other people behind Hongyan. They exchanged a look and spread out, surrounding Hong Yu. Hong Yu's frown deepened, but he concealed the cold glint in the depths of his eyes. "What do you people really want?" Chapter 2-1. Weak, so weak. "We're not trying to do anything. We just saw the tiger instructor reward you with a nourishing essence pill. We figured you wouldn't need it right away, so we came over to borrow it for a bit," Hongyan said with a grin. A nourishing essence pill was a single-use spirit medicine. If it were truly borrowed, it would be swallowed, refined, and absorbed. There wouldn't even be a chance for it to turn into a fart, let alone be returned. This was clearly a case of Hongyan trying to take it by force. "Look, Hongyan's throwing his weight around again. Isn't that Hong Yu? Tisk, tisk. To think a commoner from a side branch is the reason we get chewed out all day. It's good that Hongyan is teaching him a lesson. Hong Yu is only at the fourth layer of the essence realm, but Hongyan is at the fifth layer. He's in for it this time. They should just cripple him. Let's see how he cultivates then. Stop gossiping and let's go. If the tiger instructor sees us, we'll get dragged into it and get a harsh lecture." Hearing this, the students who had planned to stick around and watch the show all shrank back. Unlike Hongyan, they didn't have the shelter of Hong Lin and the seventh elder, so they didn't dare to disregard the tiger instructor's authority. Hong Yu acted as if he hadn't heard the discussions, merely frowning. "Sorry, I only have one nourishing essence pill. I can't lend it to you. Please let me pass, I'm going home." Hong Yu then tried to walk around them. "Block him." Hongyan's expression turned cold. At his command, the other two men blocked Hong Yu's path, one on the left and one on the right. Hongyan crossed his arms, staring arrogantly at Hong Yu and sneering. "HMPH, who do you think you are? Daring to tell us to get out of the way? You really don't know your place. Hong Yu, I'm taking that nourishing essence pill from you today. If you hand it over obediently, you can save yourself a beating. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless." Hong Yu felt a little helpless. For certain reasons, Hong Yu had always kept a low profile and never actively sought trouble, so he had always tolerated Hongyan's provocations. "Sorry, I need this nourishing essence pill for myself. Please, let me pass." But Hongyan, refusing to yield an inch now that he had the upper hand, said cockily, "Use it. Are you going to trade the precious nourishing essence pill for medicine for your sick little sister again? Don't you know the purpose and value of a nourishing essence pill? To think you'd trade something so valuable for common medicinal herbs just to prolong that little bitch's worthless life. You're a real idiot. What did you say?" Hong Yu stopped in his tracks, his gaze fixed on Hongyan. This wasn't the first time the tiger instructor had rewarded Hong Yu with a nourishing essence pill. Every time he received one, Hong Yu would trade it for medicine to treat his sick sister. This was a well-known fact, yet Hongyan was still trying to snatch his nourishing essence pill. And he dared to speak so insolently about his sister. Isn't he courting death? Hong Yu's face gradually darkened. "Say that again, if you dare." Hongyan froze. Stared at by Hong Yu's eyes, he suddenly felt a chill run through his body. The feeling vanished in an instant. Hong Yun immediately flushed with embarrassment. I was actually frightened by a single glance from a piece of trash at the fourth layer of the Essence Realm. You have to understand, the gap between the fourth and fifth layer of the Essence Realm was a full 100 caddies of force. This meant that if they clashed fist to fist, Hong Yun could easily shatter Hong Yu's arm. Given such a stark contrast in power, he had been so frightened by a mere fourth layer practitioner that he'd held his breath. This was the ultimate humiliation. Humiliation turned to fury for Hong Yun. You dare speak to me with that attitude? You're courting death, little thunderbolt palm. At the first sign of disagreement, Hong Yun attacked. There weren't many martial skills that a martial artist in the Essence Realm could cultivate, and they were generally categorized as low, middle, high, and top level. This little thunderbolt palm was a middle-level martial skill. The palm strike was as swift as a bolt of lightning. Hong Yun was already at the fifth layer cultivation of the Essence Realm, with the strength to lift 500 caddies. Coupled with the swift and decisive little thunderbolt palm martial skill, his power was immense. Dealing with Hong Yu, a mere practitioner at the fourth layer of the Essence Realm, should have been effortless. Brother Yan is mighty. That kid Hong Yu is a dead man. Isn't that obvious? Brother Yan is at the mighty fifth layer of the Essence Realm. Him fighting Hong Yu is like an adult fighting a child. If Hong Yu somehow survives despite these odds, I'll eat my hat. The two lackeys Hong Yun had brought with him were putting on a perfectly coordinated show at the side. Hong Yun could already picture himself beating Hong Yu to a pulp. Hong Yu, a lowlife, should know his place. You actually dared to talk back to me. If I don't show you the massive gap between us today, you'll never understand what it means to overestimate yourself. As his words fell, the wind from Hong Yun's fist was already upon Hong Yu. However, Hong Yu stood motionless. He looked up slightly at the airborne Hong Yun, his gaze cold. Hong Yun, you've gone too far. Do you really think I'm some kind of pushover? Hong Yu dropped into a horse stance, his feet gripping the ground tightly. He drew his fist back to his waist, then suddenly punched forward. His entire being seemed to transform into an immovable wisdom king, as steady as Mount Tai. His basic boxing technique whistled through the air, brazenly meeting the little thunderbolt palm. Boom! The two fists met in a sharp, explosive impact. Hong Yu was as steady as Mount Tai, not moving an inch. But Hong Yun's body was thrown backward in midair. He was tossed high before flying back and crashing heavily to the ground with a bang. Hong Yu retracted his fist and exhaled, looking at the pale, disbelieving Hong Yun lying on the ground. He shook his head and said faintly, "Weak. So weak." After speaking, Hong Yu ignored the dumbfounded trio and strolled away. Behind him, how is that possible? Brother Yan actually lost. Isn't Hong Yu only at the fourth layer of the Essence Realm? How could he possibly defeat Brother Yan? Brother Yan, don't die, one of them wailed. Get lost. Your whole family could die and I'd still be alive. Furious, Hong Yun slapped the man across the head. His face alternated between pale and ashen as he stared at the boy's receding figure, his eyes dark with disbelief. That burst of power just now, it had to be at the sixth layer of the Essence Realm. How could he possibly possess such profound strength? And his basic boxing technique has actually produced fist momentum. That requires cultivating a fist technique to the perfection realm. Even the seventh young master hasn't managed to master the basic boxing technique to perfection. How could he possibly have done it? Hong Yun's gloomy expression grew colder and more venomous. Before the seventh young master went into seclusion, he said he would reach the eighth layer of the Essence Realm by the time he came out. I'll go back and nurse my injuries. When the seventh young master emerges, I'll have him deal with Hong Yu. With the seventh young master's methods, taking care of Hong Yu will be a piece of cake. A cruel glint appeared in Hong Yun's eyes as he stared in the direction Hong Yu had left. Enjoy your arrogance for a few more days. Your death will come when the seventh young master emerges from seclusion. Author's note. Kie's new book, Heaven Burning Evil God, has been uploaded. It's an absolute thrill ride, full of hot-blooded action. Please search for Heaven Burning Evil God by author and Kie on channels like QQ Reading, Mobile QQ, Creation Chinese website, or Kidian Chinese website. We also have a book group. 99,581,565. The group will regularly hold events to give away Q coins, redding coins, and red envelopes. Everyone is welcome. Chapter 3-2, Underground Alliance. Of course, Hong Yu had no idea what Hong Yan was thinking. He was currently at the Hong family's medicine shop, holding the nourishing essence pill. Uncle Liu, this is the nourishing essence pill. Uncle Liu was the shopkeeper hired by the Hong family's medicine shop, a middle-aged man in his 40s. He glanced at Hong Yu and said, "Hong Yu, you're at a crucial age for development. Your body and primordial vein both need a massive supply of energy. Without this nourishing essence pill, your cultivation progress will slow down considerably. If you ask me, you should take this pill back home and use it yourself." Uncle Liu watched Hong Yu with a kind gaze, his eyes filled with gentle concern. Hong Yu had been dealing with the medicine shop for a long time now to care for the sister he depended on. Uncle Liu was quite fond of the handsome, filial, and sensible young man. Hong Yu shook his head. "There's no need, Uncle Liu. A single nourishing essence pill won't turn me into a top expert overnight. Please, just exchange it for the medicinal herbs I need." Sigh. "All right, then." Uncle Liu knew he couldn't persuade the stubborn young man, so he nodded. "This is your sister's medicine, and these 2 packets are the yin-yang flowers you requested. You must be careful with them. The yin-yang flower is extremely toxic, a single drop in the bloodstream is fatal." "I know." A short while later, Hong Yu rushed home, excitedly carrying several packets of herbs. "Brother, you're back." The moment the door opened, a lively figure bounded over to Hong Yu. She was a beautiful and lovely young woman. Her face, as if carved from fine jade, had a girlish purity and sweetness, exuding an elegant air as captivating as a cyan lotus in the water. A pale yellow dress enveloped her gradually maturing, delicate figure, bestowing her with a unique charm. The young woman tilted her head, a cute little dimple appearing on her left cheek. The young woman's name was Yun Mengyao. She was the adopted daughter Hong Yu's parents had taken in 10 years ago. However, Hong Yu's parents had vanished without a trace 8 years ago, leaving the siblings to fend for themselves. Before Hong Yu transmigrated, the body's original owner had been mediocre in talent and weak in character, relying entirely on Yun Mengyao's care. Caring for the original owner for 5 whole years without ever leaving his side had caused Yun Mengyao to develop a chronic illness. On the night of every full moon, her body would turn ice cold and she would convulse as if plunged into an ice cellar. She could only suppress the cold poison with medicine that had fiery, sun-like properties. In his past life, Hong Yu had been an only child and had always longed for a little sister. Since Yun Mengyao was so sensible and well-behaved, Hong Yu doted on her completely and was constantly striving for her sake. Hong Yu affectionately tapped Yun Mengyao on the bridge of her delicate nose and asked with a smile, "Little rascal, no embroidery lessons today." Yun Mengyao's constitution was too frail to practice the martial Tao, so Hong Yu had arranged for her to learn embroidery from the artisans in their clan, a craft she rather enjoyed. "Ugh, don't even talk about it. It's a long, sad story," Yun Mengyao sighed, cupping her cheeks with her small, delicate hands. Her exquisite face scrunched up in a pout. The aggrieved, helpless expression on her face was just too adorable. "You silly girl, what happened?" Hong Yu was at a loss for words. He really didn't know what to do with his precious little sister. "I've already learned everything those artisan ladies taught me, but they refuse to believe it. They even said I'm getting ahead of myself. It's so frustrating." As she spoke, Yun Mengyao handed a cup of chilled tea to Hong Yu. "You must be exhausted, brother. Here, drink this to quench your thirst. Wow, your tea-making skills are getting more and more refined." Hong Yu chugged it down and gave her a thumbs up. The smile on Yun Mengyao's face grew even brighter. "Little rascal, take these medicines now," Hong Yu instructed. "Brother, haven't I told you to stop trading your nourishing essence pills for my medicine? My illness is fine, I just have to endure it and it'll pass. But without the nourishing essence pills, your cultivation." Yun Mengyao's eyes were filled with defiance. Biting her lip, she refused to take the medicine. Seeing the stubborn look on Yun Mengyao's face, Hong Yu couldn't help but recall fragments of the past 5 years. He vaguely recalled a time when the immense cultural shock between his two lives and the overwhelming pressure had nearly driven him mad. In his confusion, he had fallen into an icy well. Without a second thought, Yun Mengyao had jumped in right after him. That night, at the bottom of the freezing well, she had used her own frail, slender body to support him, keeping him from touching the icy water. For an entire night, Yun Mengyao remained submerged in the frigid water, while Hong Yu didn't get a single drop on him. And that was the very day her chronic illness took root. From that day forward, Hong Yu gradually came to accept his new reality. Curing Yun Mengyao's illness became his driving goal, the very motivation that allowed him to persevere through one life-threatening situation after another. Yao Yao, just give me a little more time. Once I'm strong enough, I'll be able to hire a spiritual craftsman to cure you. And once you're well, I'll take you to find Mom and Dad. Looking at the spirited Yun Mengyao, Hong Yu made a silent vow. Gently ruffling Yun Mengyao's hair, Hong Yu smiled. Silly girl, even without nourishing essence pills, my cultivation won't be any worse than anyone else's. Besides, didn't you say you wanted to see me become the family's top genius and bring honor to our name? If you don't take your medicine, how can I focus on pursuing the martial Tao? But, can you really do it without nourishing essence pills, brother? Yun Mengyao's eyes, rimmed with red, widened. Hong Yu smiled and nodded, his voice firm and sincere. Don't underestimate your brother's talent. Gazing into Hong Yu's determined eyes, Yun Mengyao finally nodded and took the bags of medicine. She blinked and asked, Brother, are you going out again? For the past 2 years, Hong Yu had often left around this time. He would be gone for long stretches, sometimes not returning for several days. Although Yun Mengyao didn't know where he went, she was observant and had noticed that whenever he returned, his clothes were always stained with blood, which worried her. But Yun Mengyao had always been sensible, and she trusted Hong Yu completely. So even though she was curious, she never asked any questions. I won't be out long this time. I'll be back by the day after tomorrow at the latest. You have to take good care of yourself, and remember to take your medicine on time. Hong Yu said with a smile, ruffling her hair. I know. You can go without worrying, brother. Yun Mengyao nodded with a sweet smile. Hong Yu left the Hong mansion, wound his way through streets and alleys, and arrived at the back door of a large compound. Knock, knock knock, knock knock knock. After the rhythmic knock, the door opened, and a furtive figure peeked out. The person glanced at Hong Yu, then looked around. After confirming no one was there, he opened the door just enough to let Hong Yu slip inside. Hong Yu took a black mask from his robes and put it on before following the furtive figure into the compound's woodshed. Click, clack, clack. With his back to Hong Yu, the furtive figure activated a mechanism inside the woodshed. With a harsh grinding sound, a section of the floor opened up, revealing a dimly lit passage. Unsurprised, Hong Yu gave the figure a slight nod and walked straight in. The sound of his footsteps echoed through the cold, silent darkness of the passage as he expertly navigated his way to the end. A blindingly bright light flared, revealing a massive underground marketplace before him. Well now, if it isn't Luo. A stunning woman in a form-fitting cheongsam sashayed over, teasing him with a playful lack of restraint. Sister Qin, long time no see, Hong Yu said. The fiery beauty, Sister Qin, giggled, her movements alluring. Still so serious, ha ha. Hong Yu shook his head in resignation, admitting defeat. He cut straight to the chase. Sister Qin, are there any new missions today? There is. Hearing it was business, Sister Qin stopped her teasing. Oh, I'm listening. Hong Yu's eyes lit up. Sister Qin shot him a look with her captivating eyes, biting her lower lip as she hesitated. Well, there's a mission that fits your profile. But I'd advise you not to take it. Why not? This mission was posted personally by the Tier 1 spiritual craftsman, Lord Shui. It requires you to go to the Chaotic Soul Mountain Range and retrieve a restoring yin grass. You should know what that implies. It grows in the lair of a Tier 1 advanced wild beast, the red yin poison scorpion. Even a 9th level essence element powerhouse has to be cautious around a red yin poison scorpion. You, on the other hand. Sister Qin looked at Hong Yu with concern. A spiritual craftsman. Hong Yu's brow furrowed, an idea sparking in his mind. The clan healers once said Meng Yao's condition was caused by cold poison entering her body from overexertion during the night. They said it couldn't be permanently cured unless a spiritual craftsman used the pill fire technique to refine the poison. This Lord Shui is a Tier 1 spiritual craftsman. If I could get him to help. At this thought, Hong Yu pressed on, Sister Qin, what are the reward and time limit for the mission? I knew you'd ask. Sister Qin rolled her eyes helplessly, her expression full of flirtatious charm. You have 1 month from the time you accept the mission. But take note, this isn't an exclusive contract. Anyone can take it, and only the first person to obtain the restoring yin grass and bring it back will get the reward. As for the reward itself, it's a personal favor from the Tier 1 spiritual craftsman, Shui Butong. If I complete this mission, I can ask Master Shui to treat Meng Yao. I'm sure he wouldn't refuse a favor he owes me. Hong Yu's eyes lit up fiercely. Ever since he'd transmigrated, Hong Yu's greatest wish had been to restore Yun Mengyao to health. It was this thought alone that had sustained him, pushing him to overcome countless difficulties and improve his cultivation. It was why he had even joined the Underground Alliance, accepting one incredibly dangerous mission after another. But spiritual craftsmen were incredibly prestigious. Even an apprentice craftsman was a lofty figure, to say nothing of a Tier 1 spiritual craftsman who stood at the very pinnacle of Shishui City's society. Even after more than 2 years of struggle had made him the youngest silver hunter in the Shishui City Underground Alliance, he still had no way of approaching such a person. But now, an opportunity was right in front of him. Hong Yu took a deep breath. Sister Qin, please accept this mission for me. In 1 month, I will return with the restoring yin grass. Sigh. I knew I couldn't talk you out of it. Sister Qin let out a soft sigh and wrote down the name that represented Hong Yu's status and power in the Underground Alliance. Luo. Chapter 4-3. Xuantian Treasure Tower. Hong Yu's family was located in Shishui City. The Underground Alliance was the ruler of Shishui City's underworld. Here, both family factions and individuals could issue quests, which were then undertaken by the experts who had joined the Underground Alliance. All martial artists who joined the Underground Alliance received a unified title, Hunter. The Hunter ranks were strict, distinguished from weakest to strongest as Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Hunting King. The higher the level, the greater the strength, and naturally, the greater the reward for completing quests. Hong Yu had joined the Underground Alliance a year ago. Now, he was already a Silver Hunter, and the youngest one at that. Little brother, you have 10 hours left in the training quiet chamber this month. The room is ready for you. Are you heading over now? Sister Qin said with a gentle smile. Yes, I need to make the most of my time. Hong Yu nodded. Sister Qin gave a helpless smile. You really work yourself to the bone. I have no choice. It's all for survival. Hong Yu's expression grew distant. The memory of Yun Mengyao's tearful face during an episode of her illness flashed through his mind, and his voice deepened. Who isn't? Sister Qin's expression turned a little strange. She seemed lost in thought for a moment before nodding. Go on, then. Open corner bracket in the quiet chamber. Hong Yu sat quietly cross-legged on the stone bed. At some point, a strange, small black tower had appeared in his hand. As he gently caressed it, the small black tower emitted faint wisps of black light that traveled up his palm, into his body, and through his 8 extraordinary meridians, finally converging upon the most mysterious of them all, his primordial vein. Wherever this energy passed, Hong Yu could clearly feel a tingling sensation spreading through his primordial vein. His cultivation also rose slowly, only gradually stopping when he reached the peak of the 6th layer of the essence realm. Whoosh! Hong Yu exhaled a long breath and slowly opened his eyes. This small black tower was called the Profound Celestial Tower, the only item his long-disappeared father had left him. Hong Yu still clearly remembered the words his father spoke when he gave him the Profound Celestial Tower. Son, if you cannot unlock the secrets of this treasure tower before you turn 16, then give up the martial Dao. From then on, just live your life peacefully as an ordinary person. Was my so-called father really just from a branch of the Hong family? Hong Yu thought, rubbing his nose. His memories of his father were extremely vague. After thinking for a while without any leads, Hong Yu refocused his attention on the Profound Celestial Tower. Neither the original owner of this body nor the transmigrated Hong Yu had ever stopped researching the profound celestial tower. However, while the original owner had spent years on it to no avail, the current Hong Yu, after 3 years of painstaking research, had managed to figure out some of its superficial uses. For instance, nourishing his primordial vein. It was precisely because of this function of the profound celestial tower that, despite never having consumed a single nourishing essence pill, the strength of his primordial vein far surpassed that of others. Furthermore, due to the power of his primordial vein, Hong Yu's cultivation speed had also greatly increased. He now possessed the strength of the peak of the 6th layer of the Essence Realm. Combined with his years of training in the Underground Alliance, his actual combat prowess was not inferior to that of an ordinary expert at the 7th layer of the Essence Realm. Although Hong Yu was young, he understood the principle that possessing a treasure invites disaster. To avoid exposing the profound celestial tower's secrets, he had always hidden his true strength. If Hongyan hadn't pushed him too far today, he would never have revealed his power. I'm only at the peak of the 6th layer of the Essence Realm right now. I can hold my own against an expert at the 7th layer, but if my opponent were the red yin poison scorpion, I probably wouldn't even be enough to pick its teeth. However, if I can break through to the 7th layer of the Essence Realm and use some traps and tools, I should have a better chance. Hong Yu carefully took out the yin-yang flower. He placed it on the ground and smashed down on it with the profound celestial tower, causing venom to splash everywhere. But before the deadly, throat-sealing venom could even touch the ground, a flash of black light from the profound celestial tower swallowed it all. Once the venom from the 5 yin-yang flowers was completely devoured, Hong Yu's vision went black, and he found himself in a hollow, dark space. This was the second function of the profound celestial tower, Shadow Martial. As the name implied, Shadow Martial meant a shadow performing martial arts. A dark silhouette with an indistinct face slowly coalesced before Hong Yu. The silhouette stood in front of him, continuously executing a series of moves. If Hongyan were here, he would have been utterly shocked, because the martial skill the silhouette was performing was none other than the little thunderbolt palm he had used. However, the silhouette's version of the little thunderbolt palm was more fluid, more powerful, had greater momentum, and was altogether more perfect. To perfect any martial skill one had witnessed, this was the function of Shadow Martial. Bang! After the 10th execution of the little thunderbolt palm, the silhouette shattered, and Hong Yu returned to reality. He closed his eyes, replaying the little thunderbolt palm in his mind. A moment later, he suddenly moved. His movements were swift and decisive, like wind, like lightning, like a clap of thunder. In just a few short hours, he had completely learned and mastered this low-level martial skill, the little thunderbolt palm. The entire little thunderbolt palm was branded into his mind with perfect clarity, as if he had practiced it countless times. The little thunderbolt palm is truly powerful. Now I have another life-saving trick up my sleeve. Hong Yu was increasingly in awe of the profound celestial tower's mystery and power. Just its 2 most superficial functions had already brought him this far. If he could uncover the profound celestial tower's true secrets, Hong Yu dared not imagine what kind of incredible progress he would make. But that was a matter for the future. Right now, there was something more important before him. I have to complete the Restoring Yin Grass quest as soon as possible. It'll be a problem if someone else gets to it first. Hong Yu narrowed his eyes. A Tier 1 advanced desolate beast, the red yin poison scorpion, is comparable to a powerhouse at the 9th layer of the Essence Realm. I'll only have a fighting chance if I can break through to the 7th layer of the Essence Realm and use some special tools to help. But those tools cost a lot of money. It seems that besides breaking through quickly, I also need to find a way to earn some cash. But for now, I need to focus on cultivating. My time in the training quiet chamber is almost up for the month. The Underground Alliance's training quiet chambers were very special places. It was said that there was a unique array inside the Underground Alliance headquarters that had a peculiar effect. Cultivating inside the quiet chambers was twice as effective. This was one of the ways the Underground Alliance attracted so many experts to join its ranks. Of course, the Underground Alliance wouldn't provide such a precious training ground to hunters for free. The Alliance divided the training quiet chambers into different areas based on a hunter's level, each with a different price tag. As a silver hunter, Hong Yu had an exclusive quiet chamber in the silver training area, but the price was a bit steep. This was also why, despite being a hunter for several years, Hong Yu's pockets were not exactly full. Hong Yu slowly closed his eyes and began cultivating once more. Deep in his meditative state, Hong Yu didn't notice that as he cultivated, a ring of black, diamond-like markers on the first layer of the profound celestial tower was slowly rising. Judging by the trend, it was only a short way from completely filling the scale on the first level. Unfortunately, Hong Yu remained completely unaware of all this. Chapter 5-4, Tower God. Whoosh. The cultivation session passed quickly. Before he knew it, Hong Yu had spent a full 10 hours in the quiet chamber, using up his allotted time for the month. Hong Yu's eyes snapped open, a flash of ecstasy in them. After 10 hours of practice, his cultivation had advanced once more. He had finally broken through the barrier of the peak of the 6th layer and reached the 7th layer of the Essence Realm. He looked up and saw only a few minutes of his session remaining. Hong Yu shook his head helplessly. If I had enough money to cultivate in here every day, my training speed would increase by at least 30%. What a pity. A 30% increase in speed was not to be underestimated. It was a rate countless people could only dream of achieving. After leaving the quiet chamber, Hong Yu didn't run into Sister Qin again, which he found a little disappointing. Shaking his head, he walked toward the exit of the Underground Alliance, a thoughtful expression on his face. His mind was now entirely consumed with how to make money. Even an Earth Soul Realm expert could die fighting a red yin poison scorpion, and Hong Yu wasn't about to be the least bit careless. That's right, maybe I can try my luck there. An idea flashed through Hong Yu's mind. He sprinted out of Shishui City and headed east. About half an hour later, Hong Yu arrived in a valley. The valley was surrounded by lush, sprawling woods, making it quite serene. Hong Yu carefully recalled the path he had stumbled upon by chance. It was a well-hidden trail that zigzagged through the thickets like a maze. After walking for another half hour, he finally reached his destination, an exceptionally dense patch of climbing ivy. The tightly packed vines covered the stone cliff, giving it an eerie feeling. Good, I remembered correctly. Hong Yu breathed a sigh of relief. He carefully parted the ivy and stepped through, revealing a deep stone cave inside. This cave was Hong Yu's secret base. No one knew about it but him. There was a story behind its discovery. Over 2 years ago, at a family gathering, Hong Yu had offended Hong Lin while protecting Yun Mengyao. As a result, Hong Lin and his men had chased him relentlessly. A battered and desperate Hong Yu had fled here and, by a stroke of luck, discovered this quiet grotto. It was also because of that escape that Hong Yu had accidentally discovered the profound celestial tower's first function, nurturing his primordial vein. A blessing in disguise, he supposed. That was probably the best way to describe it. Good, no one else has found this place. Hong Yu glanced at a few markers he had placed at the cave entrance. Seeing no signs of them having been moved, he heaved a great sigh of relief. The first time he entered the cave, he had found a 3-flower 3-leaf grass growing inside. 3-flower 3-leaf, as the name implies, means it grows for 3 years and blooms for 3 years. When Hong Yu first saw it, a flower bud had just appeared. Now, more than 2 years later, it should be time for it to fully bloom. The 3-flower 3-leaf grass was a first-grade spirit medicine, and a single stalk could easily sell for over 10,000. Hong Yu sniffed the air and exclaimed in delight, "What a rich medicinal fragrance. It seems the 3-flower 3-leaf grass is about to mature." Hong Yu quickened his pace and soon found the blooming 3-flower 3-leaf grass deep inside the cave. To his disappointment, however, the flower bud was still slightly furrowed. It would fully mature in a few days, but it wasn't quite there yet. He shook his head helplessly and sighed. Picking an immature 3-flower 3-leaf grass would be a terrible waste. What a shame. He had come full of hope, only to leave disappointed. This left Hong Yu feeling rather dejected. However, just as Hong Yu was about to turn and leave, the profound celestial tower hidden against his chest suddenly grew warm. Hong Yu froze for a moment, then took out the profound celestial tower. He saw the small tower gleaming with a black light, seemingly coveting the 3-flower 3-leaf grass. What's going on? Hong Yu wondered aloud in surprise. The profound celestial tower had been in his possession for many years, and all this time, the thing had been like a stone Buddha, uninterested in anything. Even when Hong Yu had stumbled into the cave 2 years ago and found the 3-flower 3-leaf grass, nothing unusual had happened. But now, Hong Yu thought for a moment and analyzed the situation. The profound celestial tower hasn't changed, and I haven't changed much either. The only possibility is that the 3-flower 3-leaf grass is about to mature. But I've come across plenty of herbs and spirit plants over the years, and the profound celestial tower never reacted like this before. On second thought, Hong Yu realized what was different. If there's any real difference, it's that all the spirit plants and herbs I encountered before were common grade, not reaching the level of a grade entering spirit medicine. The 3-flower 3-leaf grass was also a common herb before it matured. Now that it's on the verge of maturity, it's slowly transforming into a grade entering spirit medicine. Hong Yu's eyes widened as he stared at the small black tower in his hand. Could it be? The profound celestial tower is only interested in grade entering spirit medicine. At this thought, Hong Yu could no longer resist moving the profound celestial tower closer to the 3-flower 3-leaf grass. The closer they got, the more intensely the light around the profound celestial tower glowed. Swoosh! A black light shot out from the profound celestial tower, sucking the 3-flower 3-leaf grass directly toward it. It was too late for Hong Yu to stop it. He could only watch as the plant was pulled up by its roots, shrank continuously, and was swallowed whole by the profound celestial tower. When the black light vanished, the cave fell silent once more, but the 3-flower 3-leaf grass was gone. Damn it, you wasteful piece of junk! Hong Yu cursed, pointing at the profound celestial tower. Screw you, you're the wasteful one, your whole family is wasteful. Hong Yu had just finished cursing when a somewhat childish voice came from within the tower, leaving him stunned. He stared at the profound celestial tower in his hand, full of doubt and suspicion. There was no reaction. He tapped it with his finger, producing a cold pong-pong sound. Hong Yu rubbed his eyes and muttered in confusion, strange. Was I just hearing things? Still no response. Hong Yu patted his chest and sighed in relief. I knew it. How could a lump of metal like this talk? I must be under too much stress lately. I need to go back and get a good night's sleep to unwind. Screw you, you're the lump of metal. Your whole family is lumps of metal. The childish voice clamored again. Holy crap. Alarmed, Hong Yu immediately tried to throw the profound celestial tower away, but the thing was stuck fast to his palm. No matter how hard he tried to shake it off, it wouldn't budge. Seemingly sensing Hong Yu's alarm and disbelief, the owner of the childish voice let out a smug, gay, laugh from within the tower and continued to crow. Now you know how amazing I am, huh? Screw you, making this great one wait for so long, how hateful, how detestable. If I don't give you a taste of my power, you'll never learn how incredible I am. Quote. Cold sweat beaded on Hong Yu's forehead. He asked, uncertainly, are you the reinforcements the monkey sent for? Monkey, you're the monkey, your whole family are monkeys. The person in the tower let loose a stream of curses that left Hong Yu completely dumbfounded. Only then did it slowly and smugly declare, I am the Tower God. Chapter 6-5. Call me Tower God. Tower God. Hong Yu was stunned. The hell's with that look? Are you questioning my identity? Looks like if I don't show you what I'm made of, you won't know your place. The childish shouting had just ended when the profound celestial tower flashed with black light, enveloping Hong Yu. When the black light faded, Hong Yu was seen lying on the ground, still holding the profound celestial tower, his eyes vacant and lifeless. Where is this? Hong Yu asked in astonishment, staring blankly at the surrounding void filled with stars. Ha ha ha, now you know how powerful I am, don't you? Bet you don't dare question my identity as the Tower God now, huh? The void trembled, and a colossal figure appeared before Hong Yu. It was a ferocious ancient beast, a full 100 meters long, its entire body a dark gold. 2 pairs of bony wings shimmering with black light were draped at its sides, giving it an exceptionally domineering air. At that moment, this incredibly imposing ancient beast was tilting its head up slightly, looking down at Hong Yu with a smug gaze. Are you really the Tower God? Hong Yu blinked, utterly bewildered. Hearing the childish voice of this Tower God, who was so fond of cussing, Hong Yu's first impression had been of an adorable, cherubic little kid. But how could I have ever imagined he'd look like this? Did he grow up too fast? Or maybe this guy just has a big body, but the mind of a child. Hey, what are you thinking about? The giant beast spoke, its childish voice a stark contrast to its enormous body. I was thinking about why you'd turn yourself into this. Could it be, you're afraid of me? Having lived 2 lives, Hong Yu's mind was sharp. After some thought, he concluded that the giant beast was definitely not the being's true form, or at least, it couldn't possibly look like this naturally. So, he decided to press his advantage with a bluff. Hearing this, a flash of astonishment crossed the giant beast's lantern-like eyes. Its childish voice now held a note of curiosity. Damn it, how did you know this body was something I transformed into? Did I slip up somewhere? No, that can't be right. My transformation technique is flawless. As it muttered to itself, the ferocious giant beast began to shrink. In just a moment, a cherubic little boy appeared before Hong Yu. Staring at the little boy who had suddenly appeared, Hong Yu was completely dumbfounded. A cute little porcelain doll. Check. 2 adorable pigtails sticking straight up. Check. A longevity lock swinging back and forth on his chest. Check. The problem was, when a little brat possessing all these cute features appears before you, and he's also got a large pipe puffing white smoke dangling from his mouth, you can't help but feel speechless. Holy crap, this isn't a tower god. This is a thug version of Nezha, isn't it? Hong Yu muttered blankly. Hey, how on earth did you see through my transformation technique? Little one took a puff from his pipe, the smoke billowing out and completely obscuring his cute little face as he asked in his soft, childish voice. Hong Yu shook his head. I didn't see through your transformation technique. I just felt that your voice and tone didn't match the giant beast's appearance at all. I had a gut feeling that it wasn't your true form, so I decided to test the waters. I just didn't expect. Hong Yu didn't finish his sentence, but his meaning was crystal clear. I didn't guess you had a transformation technique. I was just a little suspicious, and you exposed yourself. Little one slapped his forehead in frustration, his chubby, tiger cub-like appearance looking quite adorable. He took another pretentious puff from his pipe, blowing out a cloud of smoke. Scrub, seeing as you're reasonably clever, I've decided to give you a chance. Acknowledge me as your boss and stick with me. From now on, I'll have your back, and I guarantee you'll live the good life. Cough, cough. Hong Yu let out a dry cough. Follow this little hooligan. No way in hell am I doing that. He rubbed his nose and asked, who are you, really? And where is this place? Damn it, stop calling me, you. You're supposed to call me Lord Tower God. Little one jumped up high, tapped Hong Yu on the head with his big pipe, and said with a grimace, I am the Tower God, so this is obviously the inner space of the profound celestial tower. But you're such a scrub you haven't even unlocked the first layer. If I hadn't happened to wake up, find that 3-flower 3-leaf grass, and absorb it myself, I'd still be sleeping right now. The topic seemed to infuriate him, as little one jumped up again and rapped Hong Yu on the head a few more times to vent his frustration. Clutching his head, Hong Yu finally understood that this little brute had devoured the 3-flower 3-leaf grass. He stared speechlessly at the fierce little one. Hold on, what did you just say about an inner space, the first layer, and sleeping? Huh, you mean you don't know the secrets of the profound celestial tower? Little one adjusted the sunglasses on his nose, staring with his round, dark eyes. Hong Yu nodded. Little one plopped down on the ground, pouting in frustration. I was wondering why you've been carrying the profound celestial tower for so many years without even being able to open the first layer. Turns out you were sitting on a treasure mountain without even knowing it. Damn it, it's a good thing I took the initiative to absorb the 3-flower 3-leaf grass, otherwise who knows how much longer I'd have been asleep. Hey, scrub, how about we make a deal? Little one suddenly looked up, his tone tempting. Stop calling me scrub, Hong Yu grumbled, pursing his lips. What kind of deal? I know you need to deal with the red yin poison scorpions, right? Haha, don't look at me like that. I am omniscient and omnipotent. Little one took another smug puff from his big pipe and continued, you came looking for the 3-flower 3-leaf grass to earn some money to buy things like the antitoxic pill, cloud-piercing bow, and armor-piercing arrows to deal with the red yin poison scorpions, didn't you? But now that I've swallowed the 3-flower 3-leaf grass, there's no way you can earn enough money to buy that equipment in time. Hee, but don't worry. As long as you agree to a few of my demands, I'll give you a hand. How about it? Tempted, aren't you? Under little one's big, glistening dark eyes, Hong Yu simply shook his head. I refuse. U.R.K. Little one, who had a whole speech of smug remarks prepared, choked and was left speechless. Then came a torrent of curses. Damn it, how can you refuse? How can you turn down such a great opportunity? Damn it, have you forgotten you only have 1 month for that mission? Aren't you afraid you'll fail? Of course I'm afraid, but I'm even more afraid of you screwing me over. Hong Yu said bluntly, you claim to be the Tower God, but I have no way to verify your identity. If you trick me, it'll be too late for regrets. Besides, you just swallowed my 3-flower 3-leaf grass, and that was worth tens of thousands of gold coins. You ate it without offering any compensation, which makes me seriously doubt your character. Quote. Little one was completely stunned. It was true he was powerful, and yes, he was the great and mighty Lord Tower God. But only he knew all that, and, for certain reasons, he couldn't even prove his identity. On top of that, just as Hong Yu said, he really had swallowed the 3-flower 3-leaf grass. So far, he was the only one who had benefited, while Hong Yu had gained nothing at all. How was he supposed to get anyone to trust him like this? Little one's eyes darted around, and he suddenly said, Scrub, how about this? I'll help you earn enough money to complete the red yin poison scorpion mission first, as compensation for the 3-flower 3-leaf grass. After that's done, we can continue talking about the deal. Deal. Hong Yu grinned. That's what I was waiting for. Seeing this, little one immediately realized he'd been had. The little guy shook his fist indignantly, so mad he could grind his teeth. But even though he acted like a total hooligan, the kid was true to his word. As if to vent his anger, he took a long drag from his pipe, exhaled a cloud of white smoke, and slowly uttered a sentence that left Hong Yu utterly flabbergasted. All right, Scrub, listen up. I'm going to teach you how to become a spiritual craftsman. Chapter 7-6. Divine Medicine Scripture. On the Cyan Cloud continent, martial arts thrived, and cultivation formed its own distinct system. In this world where the strong were revered, martial artists were divided into corresponding ranks based on their power. From weakest to strongest, these were the Essence Realm, Earth Soul Realm, Celestial Soul Realm, Primordial Core Realm, Primordial Embryo Realm, Primordial Spirit Realm, Yin-Yang Realm, Mystic Realm, and Venerable Realm. Each realm was further divided into several minor realms. As the saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. As a world where cultivation had developed to its peak, the Cyan Cloud continent naturally had other systems besides that of martial artists. For example, there were swordsmen, spirit warriors, overlord body walkers, and so on. However, the experts in these systems were few and had never grown numerous enough to rival the martial artists. Yet one special system, reputedly with the smallest number of practitioners, possessed an ability that all experts held in awe. These people were called spiritual craftsmen. In a martial artist's cultivation journey, diligence, talent, fortuitous encounters, and heaven and earth spirit essences were all indispensable. Among them, heaven and earth spirit essences were a particularly unique existence. Someone with mediocre talent might, by chance, consume a divine-level spirit medicine and gain the potential to reach the pinnacle of cultivation. However, not only were heaven and earth spirit essences rare, but even if one were found, it was another matter entirely whether one could withstand its potent medicinal power after swallowing it raw. If they were lucky, their power would soar, and they'd ascend to the heavens in a single leap. If they were unlucky, it wasn't unheard of for their bodies to simply explode, resulting in death. Spiritual craftsmen, however, were a group of people who could use heaven and earth spirit essences to refine spirit pills, allowing cultivators to safely consume them and enhance their cultivation. However, the requirements to become a spiritual craftsman were extremely strict, which made every single one of them exceptionally revered. Even apprentice craftsmen were hot commodities that all the major powers vied to recruit. Hong Yu had once fantasized about learning the alchemy technique, but even the most rudimentary methods required one to be an expert at the Earth Soul realm. Furthermore, the secret scriptures that recorded these alchemy methods were precious items that could cost over 1,000,000 gold coins. And so, he had given up on that unrealistic dream. But now, this foul-mouthed tower god is actually saying he'll teach me to become a spiritual craftsman. Don't you dare question me. Little One's high-pitched, childish voice, combined with his attempt to act all old and worldly, was utterly adorable. Hong Yu couldn't help but want to laugh, which only infuriated Little One further. He raised his large pipe, stomping his feet and yelling, "You think this is funny? Laugh again, and I won't teach you any more." Looking at the puffed-up Little One, Hong Yu couldn't help but smile. Suppressing his laughter, he said, "Sorry, I wasn't making fun of you. I just think, I think you're really cute." "See cute." Little One reacted as if he'd been insulted. He leapt up and started whacking Hong Yu on the head with his big pipe, his delicate little face filled with rage. "Damn it all, you're the cute one. Your whole family is cute. You should be calling me domineering. You should be saying I'm the one and only sovereign." All right, whatever you say." Hong Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Little One finally calmed down a bit. "Seeing as you've admitted your mistake so sincerely, I'll forgive you this once. Here, this is the divine medicine scripture. Memorize it." An ancient, yellowed book materialized out of thin air in front of Hong Yu. He held the ancient book, whose name he'd never even heard of, but this time he didn't question Little One. He slowly began to flip through it. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. A look inside would naturally reveal whether this so-called divine medicine scripture was real or fake. But the moment Hong Yu saw the first page, his eyes were glued to the ancient text. While Hong Yu had no direct experience with spiritual craftsmen or the alchemy technique, he wasn't completely in the dark. As he read the words in the divine medicine scripture, he found himself unconsciously developing an intimate familiarity with the mysterious profession and its techniques, as if he'd known them all along. Furthermore, the deeper he read, the more certain he became that Little One and the profound celestial tower had extraordinary origins. The contents of the very first page alone were enough to convince him that Little One hadn't exaggerated the scripture's miraculous nature. Buzz. Just as Hong Yu was getting absorbed in his reading, the ancient book suddenly vanished. He snapped his head up to look at Little One. "What the hell? Where's the book?" Little One's face was a bit pale. He'd lost his earlier liveliness and seemed quite weak. However, the little guy's tough-as-nails attitude hadn't diminished in the slightest. He plopped down on the ground and nonchalantly crossed his legs. He took a deep drag from his large pipe. As he exhaled a cloud of smoke, some color seemed to return to his face. Only then did he look at Hong Yu and say, "Don't you know that I used up almost a third of the three-flower, three-leaf grass's medicinal power just to let you read those few pages of the divine medicine scripture?" After Little One's explanation, realization dawned on Hong Yu. It turned out that everything from the profound celestial tower nourishing his primordial veins to the shadow martial arts function, and even Little One's very existence, required a supply of energy. This energy came from two sources: the power the profound celestial tower absorbed when Hong Yu cultivated, and the consumption of grade-entering spirit medicines, spirit pills, or even spirit ores to supplement its power. Unfortunately, Hong Yu was too poor and his cultivation too weak to support the profound celestial tower's other functions. Scumbag, don't look so down. The part of the divine medicine scripture you just read has already given you theoretical knowledge comparable to a first-grade spiritual craftsman. As long as you can break through to the Earth Soul realm, you'll naturally become a Tier 1 spiritual craftsman. Isn't that enough? We can't bite off more than we can chew. We have to take it one step at a time. Little One lectured him with the grave tone of a seasoned elder. "Here, this is the three-flower, three-leaf grass that I didn't get around to digesting. It's not much, but it should be enough for you to refine a few Yunyuan pills." Quote. Hong Yu took the so-called, not much, three-flower, three-leaf grass from Little One and was on the verge of tears. "How is this, not much? These are clearly just scraps. Stop looking like you just lost everything, okay? With me here, this is definitely enough," Little One said domineeringly, taking a puff from his large pipe. Hong Yu pursed his lips. "You didn't give me a medicine cauldron and pill furnace. Am I supposed to refine it with my mouth? A medicine cauldron and pill furnace. Here you go. Little one was already prepared. With a wave of his chubby little hand, a medicine cauldron and pill furnace materialized out of thin air. For the Yunyuan pill, take the 3-flower 3-leaf grass and place it into the medicine cauldron and pill furnace. Hong Yu quickly got into the zone and began his very first alchemy experience. Ordinary alchemy required borrowing the primordial spirit fire of an Earth Soul Realm expert to melt down medicinal ingredients and extract their essence. But the divine medicine scripture carved its own path, using one's consciousness as the source to control the primordial fire stored within a special medicine cauldron and pill furnace to perform alchemy. This allowed Hong Yu, despite being only at the essence realm, to be capable of performing alchemy. Although Little One had only given him a fingernail-sized piece of the 3-flower 3-leaf grass, the Yunyuan pill wasn't a true spirit pill, so it was fortunately enough. Spirit pills, like spiritual craftsmen, were also divided into 9 grades. There were likely higher grades above the 9th grade, but that part of the text had disappeared before he could read it, so Hong Yu had no way of knowing. Although the Yunyuan pill is only the lowest level 1st grade spirit pill, its medicinal effects are more than 10 times greater than the nourishing essence pills distributed by the clan. More importantly, if a martial artist at the 9th layer of the essence realm consumes it, it can help them condense their primordial spirit and break through to the Earth Soul realm. If I took it to the Underground Alliance for auction, it would probably fetch no less than 100,000 gold coins. Hong Yu calculated the money in his head as he continued the refining process. This greatly displeased Little One. He stood on his snow-white tiptoes, raised his big pipe, and eyed Hong Yu's head. His young voice took on an old, lecturing tone. "Scumbag, what are you daydreaming about? The 3-flower 3-leaf grass I have is limited. What if you ruin the batch because your mind wandered? I know." Hong Yu sulkily pursed his lips, cleared his mind of distracting thoughts, and began the alchemy. Little One paced back and forth beside him with his hands clasped behind his back, looking just like a child-sized private tutor. He mumbled incessantly from his small mouth, "Listen up, scumbag. This alchemy technique isn't that easy to learn. It requires talent, patience, comprehension, and strength that surpass the ordinary. So, don't put too much pressure on yourself, just focus on learning. With me here to guide you, I can at least guarantee you won't even blow up the furnace." Little One seemed to have an endless supply of words. He rambled on for a full half-hour without his mouth ever getting dry. "Scumbag, are you even listening to me? You have to use your mind to feel the medicinal ingredients, to control the primordial fire inside the medicine cauldron and pill furnace. Why won't you listen? Believe it or not, if you keep ignoring me, this batch of Yunyuan pills will definitely be ruined by you." Quote. Hong Yu remained silent. Little One stomped his feet in anger. "Damn it all. If you don't listen to me, you'll regret it sooner or later. I'm telling you." "Huh. What's that in your hand?" Little One's torrent of abuse came to an abrupt halt. A look of astonishment appeared on his exquisite little face. His little sunglasses slid down his nose, revealing a pair of bright, jet-black eyes that stared blankly at Hong Yu. To be precise, he was staring at the 2 crystal vials in Hong Yu's hands. You actually succeeded in refining them." Hong Yu shook the 2 crystal vials in his hand and nodded with a grin. "It's all thanks to your guidance from the sidelines." For once, Little One blushed. But he wasn't one to admit defeat easily. He took a deep drag from his pipe and put on an air of profound mystery. "As expected of the person I chose. At least in the alchemy technique, your talent is barely satisfactory to me. Alright, go back and consume 1 Yunyuan pill for now. You can take the other one to be auctioned off. It should be enough to solve your current problems. Yan, I'm tired. Come see me again when you break through to the Earth's Soul realm." Before Hong Yu could say anything else, Little One waved his chubby little hand, and Hong Yu vanished into thin air. Gazing at the spot where Hong Yu had disappeared, Little One plopped down on the ground, took another drag from his large pipe, his childish voice tinged with a hint of amusement. To think he succeeded in refining the Yunyuan pills on his first try. Tisk tisk. Now I'm actually looking forward to seeing what happens when he breaks through to the Earth's Soul realm and opens the first layer. Chapter 8-7. Hong Lin. In the dry cave, Without the three-flower three-leaf grass, the rich medicinal fragrance in the cave was gone, leaving only pitch-black darkness. Hong Yu had already woken up. He held 2 jade bottles in his hands, his expression a little dazed. These 2 Tier 1 spirit pills, did I really refine them myself? He wanted to pinch his thigh to see if he was dreaming. I heard Hong Lin is in seclusion, preparing to break through to the 8th layer realm. I just beat up Hong Yan, and that bastard will definitely snitch to Hong Lin. Plus, Hong Lin and I don't get along. With my current 7th layer strength, I'm no match for an 8th realm opponent like him. I should use this Yunyuan pill to break through first. Lost in thought, Hong Yu sat down cross-legged and consumed the Yunyuan pill in his hand. As the pill entered his body, it immediately transformed into a warm medicinal flow. Hoo-hoo. Hong Yu's breathing grew increasingly long and steady. Under the effects of the Yunyuan pill, his cultivation began to climb, step by step. Mid-7th layer of the essence realm. Late stage, peak. His cultivation's growth finally reached a critical point. If he could push past it, he would break through to the 8th layer realm. If he failed, he would remain at the peak of the 7th level. Though it seemed like a small step, the difference in combat power was immense. Break. Hong Yu suddenly roared in his mind. Following that internal roar, the rich medicinal power of the Yunyuan pill, which had been brewing inside him, launched its final assault. With a sensation like an eggshell cracking within his body, Hong Yu finally took the last step, reaching the 8th layer of the essence realm. But the Yunyuan pill's medicinal power was not yet exhausted. His cultivation continued to rise, albeit very slowly. A full 3 hours passed before Hong Yu opened his eyes again. His cultivation had already reached the late 8th layer of the essence realm. I finally broke through. With my current strength, I can even fight and win against an expert at the early 9th layer. Hong Yu was quite excited. He meditated for another half-hour to adjust, then finally left the cave that had brought him one fortuitous encounter after another. Underground Alliance. Sister Qin, dressed revealingly and as gorgeous as a blooming rose, lightly covered her cherry-red lips with a slender hand. Her beautiful eyes looked gravely at the young man before her. My dear little brother, are you sure this bottle of Yunyuan pills in your hand really has the effect you claim? You have to know, once I submit them to the Alliance's auction house for you, the Alliance's own appraisers will be in charge of authenticating them. If the product's quality doesn't meet the requirements, it will be seen as a provocation against the Alliance's authority. Sister Qin's concern was like a warm winter sun passing through Hong Yu's heart. He smiled slightly and said, Sister Qin, have you ever known me to make baseless claims? Sister Qin was taken aback. Only then did she remember that the young man before her was the youngest silver hunter in the several hundred-year history of the Underground Alliance. Smiling, Sister Qin returned to her charming demeanor and nodded. All right, little brother, just wait here for my good news. A smile on his lips, Hong Yu waited quietly. The Underground Alliance was highly efficient. Sister Qin soon returned with a young man with bedroom eyes. The young man glanced at Hong Yu and said flatly, You're Luo. The effects of that Yunyuan pill are indeed as you described. The Alliance is giving you 2 options. 1. Sell the Yunyuan pill to the Alliance. We'll give you a price of 50,000 gold coins. 2. Put it in the Alliance's auction house to be auctioned in 3 days. Make your choice. Ahem. Sister Qin snorted through her delicate nose and winked at Hong Yu. Hong Yu paused, then understood. He chuckled and said, I choose the second option. HMPH. The young man was clearly stunned for a moment, then realized Sister Qin had tipped Hong Yu off. A flash of annoyance and disdain crossed his eyes. His expression grew colder, and his gaze toward Hong Yu held a trace of hostility as he said flatly, If that's your choice, then sign the contract. Wait, I'd like to request an advance of 10,000 gold coins, Hong Yu said. The mission for the restoring yin grass was urgent, and the auction was still 3 days away. Hong Yu didn't want to waste these 3 days, so he thought of getting an advance on the gold coins to make preparations for that mission. But the young man just snorted coldly and refused with extreme indifference, No. Having said his piece, the young man turned and walked away. Hong Yu could faintly hear the young man's disdainful voice drifting back, an advance on gold coins. Who do you think you are? A piece of trash dares to negotiate terms with me. You really don't know what's good for you. Dear little brother, that's just Wang Zi's temper. Don't be angry, Sister Qin consoled him. Hong Yu just smiled, not taking Wang Zi to heart at all. As an 18-year-old apprentice craftsman, something to be proud of. What would he think if he knew that I, at only 15, can already refine first-grade spirit pills, and that I'll naturally become a Tier 1 spiritual craftsman as soon as I break through to the Earth's soul realm? Sister Qin breathed a sigh of relief. After all, they were both part of the Underground Alliance, and she didn't want the relationship between Hong Yu and Wang Zi to become too stiff. Then she smiled and said, "Dear little brother, are you in great need of money?" "Yes, I need to prepare some things to complete the Restoring Yin Grass mission. I'm in urgent need of some money." Hong Yu didn't hide anything from Sister Qin. Sister Qin's eyes, as bright as stars, darted about. She suddenly parted her vermilion lips and said, "Dear little brother, I have some private savings here. It's not much, but it should be enough for you to get some things done." Seeing Hong Yu looking at her in surprise, Sister Qin pretended to be calm and joked, "But this is my dowry money. You have to pay me back when you're rich. Otherwise, I'll never be able to get married." Sister Qin. Hong Yu stared blankly at the bewitching beauty before him, so moved he didn't know what to say. Sister Qin reached out a delicate, rosy finger to tap the tip of Hong Yu's nose, giggling flirtatiously. "Why are you staring at me so blankly? Could it be that my little brother Luo is moved? Hee, don't feel embarrassed. Just don't forget your big sister when you make it big in the future." Hong Yu smiled. He calmly accepted the purse from Sister Qin's hand and nodded firmly at the thorny rose before him, a woman who could captivate any man. "As long as I live, I will never let Sister Qin suffer any grievances." The young man's promise seemed a bit childish, but it was so pure and sincere, without any ulterior motives. Sister Qin had navigated the Underground Alliance for years and had seen all sorts of men. The attentive, the flirtatious, the wealthy. But she had always kept her heart, outwardly passionate but inwardly cold, from being captured by anyone. But in this moment, looking into the young man's bright, clear eyes, Sister Qin felt as if something was slowly melting the layer of ice around her heart. Was I moved? Maybe, maybe not. Matters between men and women were always subtle. No one could ever say for sure. Sister Qin was, after all, a shrewd woman who navigated the Underground Alliance. She giggled to hide that brief moment of emotion and said with a beaming smile, "Well then, I'll be waiting for you." The young man nodded firmly again. It wasn't a formality, but a promise from the heart. With 3 days until the auction, Hong Yu took the 6,000 gold coins Sister Qin had lent him and went directly to the market in the Underground Alliance to purchase a few items. Most of them were for preventing and neutralizing poison, all to guard against the deadly venom of the red yin poison scorpion, which was said to kill on contact with blood. As for the equipment needed to attack and surround the red yin poison scorpion, those were expensive items that cost 5,000 to 6,000 gold coins each. He would have to wait until after the auction for those. When he left the Underground Alliance, Hong Yu didn't run into the bewitching Sister Qin again, which he found a little disappointing. A short while later, Hong Yu returned home. But as soon as he reached the door, his expression changed. In the simple, small courtyard, things were smashed and thrown about, a complete mess. Yun Mengyao was soaked to the bone, a glaring red palm print on her tender cheek. With her hands on her hips, she glared at the villains in front of her, the very ones who had just trashed her home and were now closing in on her. "You bastards, don't come any closer. My brother won't let you get away with this. Tisk tisk, your brother. Oh, we're so scared." Seventh young master. This Yun Mengyao and Hong Yu call each other brother and sister, but who knows what their relationship is really like in private. This little girl isn't old, but her body's developed quite nicely. Look at that chest, that face. If I had a sister like that, I'd go for it whether she was my real sister or not. I heard her brother has to treat her illness every month. You think they might be using dual cultivation to treat her? Jye, little sister Mengyao, let your big brother here treat your illness too. The ones speaking were none other than Hongyan and his master, the seventh young master of the Hong family, Hong Lin. After being taught a harsh lesson by Hong Yu yesterday, Hongyan had made up his mind to bring Hong Lin back for revenge. Unfortunately, Hong Lin was in seclusion for his breakthrough, so Hong Yun had to wait for a full day and night. It wasn't until today that Hong Lin finally came out of seclusion. Moreover, he had broken through to the 8th realm of the Essence Realm, and his strength had soared. Spurred on by Hong Yun's exaggerated and embellished report, Hong Lin, who already disliked Hong Yu, flew into a rage. Believing that Hong Yu was challenging his authority, he had charged over, seething with killing intent. Upon arriving at Hong Yu's house, they were frustrated to find he wasn't there. However, since they were dead set on causing trouble, they weren't about to give up so easily. They shifted their target to the beautiful and lovely Yun Mengyao. Don't be fooled by Yun Mengyao's gentle and considerate nature, that was reserved only for Hong Yu. In front of people like Hong Lin, she was as wild as a young leopardess and naturally resisted their advances. The reason she was soaking wet was that she had been splashed when she picked up a small water cistern to throw at Hong Lin. This completely ignited Hong Lin's desire. He sneered, "Hee hee, I didn't expect a little firecracker. Not bad, not bad. A little spicy, but this young master likes feisty women like you. It's more fun to play with you that way. Little sister Mengyao, what future do you have with that Hong Yu? You'd be better off with me. As long as you come back with me, this young master guarantees he'll make you feel ecstatic." "You're not even worthy of carrying my brother's shoes," Yun Mengyao retorted fiercely. "Your brother? Hee hee, this young master is already at the 8th layer realm of the Essence Realm. If your brother dares to show his face, I can crush him with one hand." Hong Lin gritted his teeth and said viciously, "Since you refuse a toast only to drink a loss, then you'll kneel and give this young master 10 loud kowtows. Otherwise, I'll burn this dump of a house down today and make your whole family sleep on the streets." However, just as he finished his threat, a voice tinged with a hint of coldness suddenly came from outside the door, causing Hong Lin's expression to instantly turn ugly. "Make my whole family sleep on the streets? I'm afraid you don't have the ability." Chapter 9-8. Kneel before me. His face grim, Hong Yu walked in from outside. The first thing he did upon entering was look toward Yun Mengyao in the corner. He breathed a sigh of relief when he saw she was unharmed. But his gaze immediately fell upon the chaotic state of the small courtyard and Yun Mengyao's drenched, shivering frame. His expression darkened further, and a chilling aura emanated from him. Killing intent. A murderous aura. It was the kind of aura possessed only by one who had truly waded through bloody battles, lingered on the edge of death, and clawed their way from beneath the death god's scythe. Under Hong Yu's murderous gaze, the group, including Hong Lin, felt a sudden chill run up their spines. The hair on their bodies stood on end. It was a primal fear. What's going on? Recalling the scene from yesterday, Hong Yun couldn't help but reveal a hint of fear. The 2 lackeys he had brought with him were in an even worse state. Their lips were pale, and their legs were subtly shaking. This guy is strange. Hong Lin had just broken through to the 8th layer of the Essence Realm and was brimming with confidence. Although Hong Yu gave him a strange feeling, he didn't pay it much mind. Hong Yu. Perfect timing. Hong Lin took a step forward, staring arrogantly at Hong Yu. "You should know why I'm here today, shouldn't you?" Hong Yu shook his head. Hong Lin's expression darkened, and his gaze turned hostile. "You're a real piece of work. I've found you detestable since the first time I saw you in the martial arts hall. A nobody from a side branch, no background, no backing, yet you refuse to accept your mediocrity. You're always deluding yourself with that nonsense about hard work paying off, trying to climb up. I despise trash like you who don't know their place. The 7th young master is right. You're a piece of trash who doesn't know his place," Hong Yun chimed in. Hong Yu shot him a look and said flatly, "I'm trash. Then what does that make you, my defeated opponent?" "You." Hong Yun's face flushed beet red, and he was left speechless. Seeing Hong Yu ignore him, Hong Lin's expression grew even darker. He barked, "Hong Yu, you're too arrogant. Don't think you're invincible just because you got lucky against Hong Yun. Today, I'll teach you that there's always someone better. Someone with your pathetic talent is nothing but scum in front of a celestial pride son like me. A piece of dog shit." With that, Hong Lin charged at Hong Yu. "I hear your basic boxing technique has reached the realm of perfection, enough to break Hong Yun's little thunderbolt palm. Fine. I'll use the little thunderbolt palm to crush you and shatter that so-called confidence and pride of yours into dust. Though it was the same little thunderbolt palm, the effect was astounding when executed by Hong Lin. Before the palm force even struck, the palm wind it generated howled forward, stinging Hong Yu's face. Hong Lin truly lived up to his name as a celestial pride son of the Hong family clan. Not only had he reached the 8th layer of the Essence Realm at the age of 16, but he had also cultivated the little thunderbolt palm to the Mastery Realm. He was just a single step away from the realm of perfection, where he would generate momentum, a truly remarkable feat. As expected of the 7th young master, his little thunderbolt palm was indeed impressive. With 3 sudden, long cries, Hong Yu's figure blurred as he attacked, shockingly using the very same little thunderbolt palm he had just learned. In that case, I'll use the little thunderbolt palm to test the renowned 7th young master myself. How arrogant, he's courting death. The 7th young master's little thunderbolt palm is 1 step away from the realm of perfection. Who the hell do you think you are, trying to compare yourself to him? The handful of lackeys, led by Hongyan, sneered with contempt. Only Yun Mengyao bit her lip, stubbornly waving a small fist. Brother will definitely win. Boom. The 2 little thunderbolt palms slammed into each other, unleashing a powerful burst of energy. Both had reached the mastery realm with the technique and were evenly matched. Their clash was head-on, with neither giving an inch. A powerful gale erupted from their position at the center, howling as it spun outwards. Bang! The standoff between their palms lasted for a moment before they both channeled their power at once, sending each other flying backward. How is this possible? I'm already at the 8th layer of the Essence Realm, yet he can fight me to a standstill. What is his cultivation level? Hong Lin stumbled back 4 or 5 steps before steadying himself. He clenched his jaw, his heart reeling with shock. According to Hongyan's report, Hong Yu's strength was only around the 6th layer of the Essence Realm. Even before my own breakthrough to the 8th layer, I was 100% confident I could defeat a martial artist at that level. What's more, I've now broken through to the 8th layer realm, possessing the terrifying strength to lift 800 jin. In my calculations, a single move from me should have been enough to utterly crush Hong Yu. And yet, based on that exchange, Hong Yu's power wasn't the least bit weaker than mine. In fact, he seemed to have a slight advantage. Doesn't that mean his strength is at least at the mid-stage of the 8th level of the Essence Realm, if not higher? Hong Lin found this difficult to accept. How could a member of the side branch with no resources, someone who had to rely on breakthroughs just to earn a nourishing essence pill from the tiger instructor, possibly possess greater talent and strength than me? But no matter how much he refused to believe it, the facts were right in front of him. It was only now that he finally realized he had seriously underestimated this boy from the side branch, someone he had never given a second thought. Hong Yu, who had also taken 3 steps back, couldn't help but shake his head. Sigh. Shadow martial might be the best way to learn a martial skill, but without the tempering of real combat, it's still lacking. It affects my overall combat power. I don't know how you got this strong, but, the stronger you are, the more satisfying it will be when I crush you. Hong Lin let out a low roar and charged menacingly at Hong Yu. My recent seclusion wasn't just about breaking through to the 8th layer of the Essence Realm. Hong Yu, have a taste of my Rising Dragon Fist. The Rising Dragon Fist was the foremost of the Hong family's 10 great advanced martial skills, embodying the concept of ascending to the heavens and transforming into a dragon. When cultivated to its peak, its power was so terrifying it could even rival a typical top-level martial skill. Roar. Hong Lin had already cultivated his Rising Dragon Fist to the perfection realm, giving birth to fist momentum. Faintly, the distinct sound of a dragon's roar echoed from it. Hong Lin's movements were draconic and unstoppable, truly carrying the aura of a golden carp transforming into a dragon, soaring to shatter the heavens. It was doubtful that even an ordinary expert at the 8th layer of the Essence Realm could withstand such a powerful punch. For the first time, a solemn expression appeared on Hong Yu's face. He slowly exhaled. Basic boxing technique. Let the gentle breeze brush the mountain. I am the bright moon over the great river. Let your power shake the 9-layer heavens. I remain unmoving, adapting to all changes. This was the core tenet of the basic boxing technique. Despite the powerful momentum of the Rising Dragon Fist surging toward him, its swirling chi vortex kicking up dust, sand, and stone. Hong Yu remained as still as the unmoving Wisdom King, calm and composed. The mighty, wind-breaking fist closed in, whipping his black hair into a wild dance. He looked like a demon among demons, proud, confident, arrogant, and domineering. Die, Hong Yu. A savage red light flared in Hong Lin's eyes, as if he could already see Hong Yu collapsing in defeat before him. However, at the very instant the rising dragon fist was about to strike him down, the motionless Hong Yu finally moved. His sharp brows shot up as he let out a roar like that of a desolate beast. The muscles in his arms bulged explosively, veins popping like dormant dragons coiling beneath his skin. Boom! Hong Lin felt an inhuman surge of power erupt from the thin figure opposite him. A wave of aching numbness shot through his arm, and the monstrous force of the impact sent him flying backward. The seventh young master was defeated. How is that possible? How many secrets is Hong Yu hiding? What is his true level of strength? My heavens! The seventh young master is already a rare genius for reaching the 8th layer of the essence realm at 16. But Hong Yu is only 15. Doesn't that make his talent even greater than the 7th young master's? Hong Yan and his cronies were all dumbfounded. Hong Lin sat slumped on the ground, staring crestfallen at the proud, slender figure. The look in his eyes gradually changed. The contempt, disdain, and scorn were all gone, replaced by an unprecedented level of shock and solemnity. He couldn't comprehend how this boy from the side branch, someone he had never even deigned to look at, could be so strong. Hong Yu slowly walked over to Hong Lin, who was being helped to his feet by Hong Yan, and said flatly, "Kneel. Kowtow to Yao Yao and apologize." Hong Yu, don't push it too far. Hong Yan quickly stepped forward, pointing at Hong Yu and shouting. Without even glancing at him, Hong Yu kept his gaze fixed on Hong Lin. Hong Yu, don't be so merciless. I, Hong Lin, admit defeat for today. But making me kneel to you, that's absolutely impossible. Hong Lin threatened. Let me go, and I can act as if today never happened. Otherwise, the consequences of offending me are more than you can bear. Are you going to kneel on your own, or do I have to help you? Hong Yu asked. You. Before Hong Lin could say another word, Hong Yu struck. With a series of dull thuds, Hong Yan and his lackeys were sent flying, knocked unconscious. Hong Yu fixed his gaze on Hong Lin again. Kneel. Apologize. Hong Yu, you're courting death. You. Not waiting for him to finish, Hong Yu kicked out viciously. A sharp pain shot through Hong Lin's already injured legs. His knees buckled, and he crashed heavily to the ground. Bastard. Hong Yu, I'll kill you. When had Hong Lin ever suffered such humiliation? He shot Hong Yu a venomous, hate-filled glare. A vicious glint flashed in his eyes as he suddenly sprang up, a dagger appearing in his hand. He thrust it toward Hong Yu's abdomen. The dagger was incredibly sharp, its blade glinting with a terrifyingly cold light. The cold glint illuminated Hong Lin's venomous and sinister face, making him look exceptionally monstrous. You're courting death. A cold glint flashed in Hong Yu's eyes. He pushed off the ground, twisting his body to evade Hong Lin's sneak attack. At the same time, his arm shot out and grabbed the hand holding the dagger. With a low roar, he raised his leg and drove his knee directly into Hong Lin's arm. Crack! With a sickening crunch, Hong Lin's arm bone snapped, his forearm twisting to an unnatural 90-degree angle. Overcome by excruciating pain, Hong Lin's face contorted into a terrifying grimace. Hong Yu, you dare break my arm? I'll kill you! Hong Lin roared hysterically, but before he could finish, Hong Yu struck again. He violently raised his leg and brought it down in a whipping motion toward Hong Lin's forehead. If that blow landed, even if it didn't kill Hong Lin, he would be left a concussed idiot. Just then, a low roar seething with furious killing intent suddenly echoed from outside the courtyard. A sharp, bone-chilling aura instantly locked onto Hong Yu. Insolent Hong Yu, how dare you commit such violence in broad daylight? Surrender at once. Chapter 10-9. Not qualified. As the furious shout rang out, a figure, swift as the wind, leapt high into the air from outside the courtyard and landed heavily in front of Hong Yu. The newcomer was clad in a suit of silver armor from which a chilling light glinted. A masterfully written Hong character was branded onto the chest. This was the law enforcement divine armor, a top-tier set from the Hong family workshop. Only experts at the rank of law enforcement team captain or above were qualified to wear it. He was Hong Yun, one of the 360 law enforcement team captains of the Hong family. His cultivation was at the peak of the 8th layer of the essence realm. In truth, Hong Yun had arrived much earlier. After realizing Hong Lin had brought men to get revenge on Hong Yu, he and his law enforcement team members had simply been resting in the shade of a nearby tree. Hong Yun had also spotted Hong Yu upon his return, but as far as he was concerned, Hong Yu was no match for Hong Lin, so he hadn't bothered to intervene. However, Hong Lin's crushing defeat meant Hong Yun could no longer sit idly by. Seeing Hong Lin on the brink of death, he had no choice but to act. Bam! Hong Yun's cultivation was even higher than Hong Lin's. A terrifying force of nearly 900 jin erupted as he thrust out his arm, launching a palm strike that roiled with wind and thunder to meet Hong Yu's little thunderbolt palm. Hong Yu's gaze sharpened, and he let out a low roar as he executed his move. As their palm forces collided, for a moment, they were evenly matched. Hong Yun's heart sank. I can't believe Hong Yu has this much power. With a surge of ruthlessness, he unleashed his strength again. Boom! Hong Yun's power exploded, sending Hong Yu flying backward. Staggering back 3 steps, Hong Yu steadied himself, his calm gaze fixed on Hong Yun. Hong Yun remained expressionless, but inwardly he was reeling. How is this possible? My wind and thunder burst just now was enough to severely injure an expert at the 8th layer of the essence realm, yet Hong Yu neutralized it just by taking a few steps back. At that moment, Hong Yun understood that he had likely underestimated Hong Yu. His gaze shifted, and his tone softened slightly. Hong Yu, to lay a vicious hand on young Master Lin in broad daylight is a grave desecration of the clan rules. Now, this captain will give you one chance. Surrender without a fight and accompany me to the law enforcement hall to accept your punishment. Punish me. Hong Yu froze, a strange look on his face. Hong Yun nodded indifferently. Behind him, Hong Lin, having just escaped death, felt some color return to his pale face. His expression a mix of chilling gloom and venomous resentment. He roared, Hong Yun, stop wasting words on this little bastard. I order you to take him down immediately. If he dares to resist, it doesn't matter if you kill or cripple him. If anyone comes looking for answers afterward, this young master will take the heat for you. Hong Yun was tempted. He was merely from a side branch and had only reached the 8th layer of the essence realm after turning 30. He had painstakingly clawed his way to the position of law enforcement team captain. Without a miracle, this was likely as high as he would ever go. But if he could build a connection with Hong Lin, it would be like stepping into the 7th Elder's faction's circle of power. Future promotions might not be out of the question. At this thought, the cold indifference returned to his eyes as he looked at Hong Yu. Hong Yu, surrender without a fight, or this captain will personally punish you. Make your choice. Hong Lin brought his men here to wreak havoc, and the esteemed law enforcement team did nothing to stop him. Hong Lin and his thugs injured my sister, and the law enforcement team did nothing to stop them. I was just getting revenge for my sister, and now his law enforcement team jumps out to punish me. A wave of indignant fury washed over Hong Yu. A heroic spirit that seemed to billow to the heavens erupted from him as he bellowed, punish me. You're not qualified. His explosive shout, like a sudden clap of thunder, made Hong Yun's expression freeze. It was followed by a surge of rage. Insolent Hong Yu, are you provoking the law enforcement team? Law enforcement team. Law enforcement my ass. Hong Yun's condescending tone, as if he occupied the moral high ground of justice, had thoroughly provoked him. The whole point of the law enforcement team was to prevent the strong from bullying the weak within the clan. Yet in all these years, I have never once been protected by them. If the law enforcement team was truly just and righteous, why did no one intervene when Hong Lin brazenly forced his way into my home? If the law enforcement team truly upheld the clan's rules, why did no one intervene when Hong Lin brought his men to trash my house and injure my sister? If the law enforcement team really represented the clan's justice as Hong Yun claimed, why did he immediately help Hong Lin deal with me the moment he appeared, without a single question about what had happened? If the law enforcement team was truly so just, why did he turn a blind eye when Hong Lin sneak attacked me with a weapon? Justice. Bullshit. Fairness. What a joke. This law enforcement team is nothing but a pack of sycophantic wolves, the unscrupulous lapdogs of those in power. Hong Yu shot to his feet, his aura surging explosively. A powerful elemental power, roiling like a dragon, flooded his body. This was the first time he had revealed his true cultivation in front of the Hong family. Rumble, 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 fueled by his elemental power, a surging shockwave erupted around Hong Yu, roiling outward. His vitality blazed like a brilliant rainbow. Hong Yun watched, almost stunned. What is with this dense vitality? Is this guy really just a disciple from a side branch? The aura fluctuating from his body is only a fraction weaker than my own. And I'm at the peak of the 8th layer of the essence realm. Doesn't that mean his true cultivation must be at the late stage of the 8th layer of the essence realm? For a side branch disciple with no cultivation resources whatsoever to reach this level at such a young age, how could I not be shocked? Chapter 11-9, Unqualified. Hong Yun, what are you still staring for? Take this bastard down. Hong Lin roared. Hong Yun's eyes flickered. Finally, he grit his teeth. I'll risk it all. Wind and Thunder Burst, Gale Roar. Wind and Thunder Burst was a middle-level martial skill with a total of 3 moves, the first of which was named Gale Roar. The essence of Gale Roar was its sheer wildness. The user's body would transform into a raging gale, kicking up dust and stones in its untamed, furious path. Get lost. Hong Yu struck out with his palm. Slap. But that simple slap was unbelievably strange, possessing immense force. With a single strike, Hong Yu shattered Hong Yun's imposing Gale Roar, sending Hong Yun himself flying backward. If not for his extensive combat experience with the law enforcement team, he wouldn't have been able to use the recoil to somersault in midair and land steadily. That last blow would have been enough to injure him. Hong Yun, have you been eating shit? You can't even handle Hong Yu. Hong Lin roared. Damn it, you were in an even more pathetic state than me just now. Hong Yun cursed inwardly but didn't dare say it aloud. With a dark expression, he said, quite the character, Hong Yu. No wonder you're so arrogant. I don't know how your cultivation became so strong, but today, this captain will apprehend you and punish you according to clan rules. With that, Hong Yun attacked again. Wind and Thunder Burst, second form, Thunder Shock Break. Thunder Shock Break was a powerful martial skill modeled after the power of lightning. The moment it was executed, the rumbling sound of thunder seemed to shake one's eardrums. Compared to Gale Roar, Thunder Shock Break was clearly far more destructive. Hong Yun is using Thunder Shock Break. This time, Hong Yu shouldn't be able to block. No. Seeing the sheer power of the attack, Hong Lin's heart pounded, but a cold sneer still formed on his lips as he began to plot how he would deal with Hong Yu after his capture to vent his hatred. But very quickly, his smile froze, replaced by a look of utter horror. It can't be, can it? The imposing Thunder Shock Break, reputed to be one of the top 5 most destructive advanced martial skills in the Hong family, was once again swatted away by Hong Yu with a slap, just like swatting a fly. How is that possible? The corner of Hong Lin's eye twitched. Hong Yun was even more stunned. He knew the power of Thunder Shock Break all too well. How could he not be shocked when the very attack he was so confident in had been broken so easily by Hong Yu? I told you, Hong Yu said calmly. You're not qualified to punish me. Hearing Hong Yu's words, Hong Yun's face twitched. He now regretted his rash decision to help Hong Lin provoke Hong Yu. To have such combat power at only 15, a talent like that is far beyond my own. If the family finds out I made things difficult for a genius like him, they'll probably make an example out of me just to appease him. As this thought crossed his mind, Hong Yun's eyes darted about and a ruthless resolve formed in his heart. Rather than let him grow up and come after me later, I should just cripple him right now. Hong Yu is openly resisting the law enforcement team, showing contempt for the clan's laws. All team members, with me. Subdue this defiant traitor. Hong Yun roared. The 10 team members he had brought with him immediately advanced, surrounding Hong Yu. The law enforcement team was strictly disciplined and hierarchical. They would never disobey their captain's command. The 11 experts from the law enforcement team closed in on Hong Yu, forming an attack formation as they advanced. Brother, be careful, Yun Mengyao cried out, her heart pounding with fear. Hong Yu gave her a faint smile. It's fine. Beating them will be as easy as slaughtering pigs and dogs. Roar. The profound skill in his body began to circulate wildly. Being provoked again and again had exhausted Hong Yu's patience. Bolstered by the profound skill, Hong Yu's aura surged. His body shot forward like wind and lightning. Boom, boom, boom. With 3 punches, he directly took down 3 law enforcement team members who were trying to ambush him. 11 men. In the blink of an eye, only 8 remained. All of you, get him. Hong Yun roared, his eyes bloodshot as he went all in. The 8 men besieged Hong Yu. Facing their assault, Hong Yu's expression remained unchanged, as calm as ever. Even at the peak of the 6th layer of the Essence Realm, he was no weaker than a 7th layer expert. So what did they expect now that he had broken through to the late 8th layer of the Essence Realm? He threw a punch, unleashing fist force with a power no less than that of the early 9th layer of the Essence Realm. His basic boxing technique was his most practiced skill, and its power was extraordinary. Boom. One punch sent a law enforcement team member flying. The man's body flew backward and crashed into another team member. With a single, thunderous punch, Hong Yu had dealt with 2 of them. Sweeping 1,000 soldiers. As he sent the team member flying, Hong Yu leaned forward and planted one hand on the ground. Pivoting on his palm, his entire body began to spin. A single leg sweep sent 3 more law enforcement team members flying. But it wasn't over. Hong Yu's movements were as smooth as flowing water. His trials in the Underground Alliance had honed his reflexes and his control over his power to perfection. He slapped the ground, launching himself high into the air and striking out again with both fists. Bam! Bam! 2 more law enforcement team members were brutally defeated. The situation had reversed in an instant. Of the 11 men, only 2 remained. You tie him down while I kill this traitor in one blow. Hong Yun roared, his face contorted in a ferocious snarl. Third form. Wind and thunder burst. A bitter expression crossed the team member's face, but he didn't dare disobey his superior's command. He could only bite the bullet and charge forward. The result was predictable. He, too, was sent flying by a single palm strike from Hong Yu. But he remembered Hong Yun's order. As the blow landed, he desperately grabbed onto Hong Yu's arm, trapping him. At the same time, Hong Yun's wind and thunder burst was upon them. With the team member holding him fast, Hong Yu couldn't free his hands. Seeing Hong Yun's attack about to connect, a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Get lost. The low roar, imbued with a tyrannical will, sent out a sonic wave. Pthoo. Under the force of that low roar, Hong Yun's body trembled and his mind went blank for a moment. Hong Yu seized the opportunity, flinging the team member in his grasp into Hong Yun. The 2 collided and were sent flying together, landing beside Hong Lin. Their bodies convulsed, and then they fainted. Hong Yu let out a long breath. The constant fighting had consumed a fair bit of his energy. He cast a cool gaze toward Hong Lin. What do you want? Hong Lin's voice trembled. The only reason he had dared to confront Hong Yu before was that he thought Hong Yu had lost his noble status and was weak. But now, Hong Yu had single-handedly defeated an entire squad from the law enforcement team. In the face of such strength, Hong Lin's previous composure and cold arrogance had vanished, replaced by nothing but fear. What do I want? Weren't you the one who just said you were going to beat me to death or cripple me? Hong Yu grabbed Hong Lin by the neck and slowly lifted him up. I'm not one to cause trouble, but that doesn't mean I'm afraid of it. You said you were going to cripple my arms and legs, didn't you? As he spoke, Hong Yu prepared to snap Hong Lin's left hand. Just then, a cold, rebuking shout suddenly came from outside the courtyard. Insolent whelp, stop at once. Chapter 12-10. Rage. 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 Audacious beast, stop this instant. A blast of wind struck, shattering Hong Yu's sure kill punch and sending him flying. Fortunately, the blast of wind was only meant to save Hong Lin at the critical moment and lacked lethal force. Hong Yu tumbled through the air several times before managing to land on his feet. Still, the force of the blast sent a violent tremor through him, churning his blood and nearly causing him to spit up a mouthful of it. Hong Yu steadied himself and looked coldly toward Hong Lin. Hong Lin had lost all of his earlier swagger and composure. His handsome face was ghastly pale, and his flickering eyes betrayed the sheer terror of his near-death experience. Whoosh! A whistling sound descended from the sky, and a purple-robed elder landed in front of Hong Lin. The purple-robed elder quickly steadied Hong Lin. With a flip of his hand, he produced a pill and had Hong Lin swallow it. A faint purple light enveloped his palm as he gently patted Hong Lin's chest. A bit of color slowly returned to Hong Lin's face, but his chest was still heaving violently, a clear sign that he hadn't recovered from his terror. The elder sighed in relief and revealed his true appearance. He had a gaunt face, and his eyebrows forked at the ends like a pair of daggers poised above his eyes. His black eyes gleamed with a coldness that surpassed a venomous snake's. Hong Yu recognized this man. His name was Hong Tian, Hong Lin's grandfather, the esteemed seventh elder of the Hong family. A dignified mid-stage Earth Soul Realm powerhouse. "Liner, are you okay?" Hong Tian asked with concern. Grandfather." Hong Lin snapped back to his senses, his eyes reddening as he choked out the words. Hong Tian dotingly ruffled Hong Lin's hair, his voice tinged with reprimand. "I've told you before, when you face an enemy, you cannot show the slightest mercy. If you get even a sliver of an opportunity, you must deliver a killing blow. You had already knocked him down, so why didn't you press your advantage and kill him to secure your victory?" "I was wrong, grandfather." Hong Lin nodded. His gaze was no longer filled with terror, and his smile was gone. He was calm again, but the viciousness and venom that now filled his eyes made him seem like a completely different person. He slowly raised his head to look at Hong Yu, their gazes meeting across the distance. But Hong Lin quickly looked away, turning to Hong Tian. "Grandfather, I want that bastard to suffer a fate worse than death." "Good." Hong Tian nodded. He slowly turned his head, seemingly glancing casually at Hong Yu. With that one glance, though he didn't even use his Earth Soul Realm cultivation, his sheer power was enough to make the air hum. The atmosphere in the small courtyard solidified, and the wind fell silent. His gaze was like a sharp sword, thrusting straight toward Hong Yu. Hong Yu's face fell. The glance alone sent a violent tremor through him, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. In that instant, he felt as if he were trapped in a 1,000-year-old ice cellar. An intense sense of mortal danger, stronger than anything he had ever felt, flooded his mind. Hong Yu's head buzzed, and he felt his consciousness slipping, his ability to think dissolving, leaving him utterly fragile and vulnerable. He felt the threat of death like never before. His body was a sapling in a storm, without shelter, about to be uprooted at any moment. It felt as if his soul fire would be extinguished in the next instant. 2 gruesome trails of blood streamed from his eyes. Loneliness, helplessness, powerlessness, and death became a giant hand pressing down on Hong Yu, slowly squeezing, threatening to crush him to dust and cast him into eternal damnation. Buzz. A clear stream flowed from the profound celestial tower inside Hong Yu's body, and his dazed expression suddenly cleared as he regained consciousness. A flicker of astonishment crossed Hong Tian's cold face. He had been confident that even if Hong Yu wasn't left a drooling idiot, he would at least be severely injured. He never imagined Hong Yu would recover so quickly. He gave a sinister smile and muttered, "No wonder Liner lost to you. You do have a few tricks up your sleeve. Let's see if you can escape this next attack." Hong Tian raised his hand and gave a light wave. A faint glimmer of light shot from his palm. It was as sharp as a blade, yet it moved so slowly even a toddler could have dodged it. But Hong Yu felt as if something was holding him fast. He was completely immobilized, forced to watch as the blade-like light flew toward him. Hong Yu's heart trembled. This is a technique of a celestial soul realm powerhouse, he thought, a wave of bitter grief washing over him. He knew that without a miracle, his life would end here. An intense unwillingness flooded his heart. Just then, a cold snort suddenly echoed throughout the entire West Garden. A mid-stage Earth Soul Realm cultivation, the dignified seventh elder of the family, and you're bullying a junior like this. Hong Tian, you've really grown some backbone. A figure in green suddenly appeared in front of Hong Yu. The newcomer was none other than the tiger instructor who had always looked after Hong Yu. He gently raised his right hand, and immediately a deafening, earth-shattering roar erupted. In that instant, the surrounding air seemed to freeze. The ray of light that could have easily taken Hong Yu's life dissolved into rapidly spreading ripples, then scattered into a shower of countless motes of light. An indescribably powerful aura erupted from the tiger instructor. He stood there as if he were the only being in the entire world. As domineering as a tiger, supreme in all the world, the tiger instructor easily broke the light's attack and looked coldly at Hong Tian. Ah, it's the tiger instructor. You've caught me in an embarrassing moment. I had my reasons for acting. This Hong Yu dared to ruthlessly attack a fellow clan member without mercy. His crime is unforgivable. However, Hong Tian offered a faint smile, but his eyes revealed a deep-seated fear of the tiger instructor. Since you have intervened, I trust you will handle this justly. HMPH. I already know what happened today. You don't need to stand here arguing about who was right or wrong. Take your boy and get the hell out. The tiger instructor couldn't be bothered to argue, simply pointing domineeringly toward the gate. Hong Tian's gaze turned cold, but he suppressed his anger as he recalled the tiger instructor's background. This tiger instructor has a mysterious origin. Even the patriarch treats him with great respect. I can't afford to offend him. Hong Tian snorted coldly. Sweeping Hong Lin up in his arm, he soared into the air. They transformed into a streak of light and instantly vanished from Hong Yu's small courtyard, leaving only the echo of his piercing, sinister laughter behind. Hong Yu spat out another mouthful of blood, but he raised his head and stared fixedly in the direction Hong Tian had left, an extreme cold glint in his eyes. The tiger instructor turned to look at Hong Yu, sighed, and gently patted his shoulder. I was too late. The tiger instructor's cultivation was profound, already at the peak of Earth's soul realm. An expert of his caliber was a top-tier powerhouse, not just in the Hong family but in all of Upper Water City. He was a hot commodity that countless factions would fight over. It was said that there were many secrets behind why he came to the Hong family, but these secrets were not known to outsiders. In any case, the tiger instructor's status in the Hong family was in no way inferior to that of the elders. Normally, aside from guiding the Hong family junior's cultivation at the martial arts hall, he spent most of his time in a quiet chamber in closed-door cultivation, pursuing a higher realm of the martial Dao and ignoring worldly affairs. But today, his heart spirit was restless during his cultivation, so he left the quiet chamber for a walk. He hadn't expected to arrive just in time to see Hong Tian making a move against Hong Yu, which was why he had revealed himself. Looking at Hong Yu, pale yet with eyes shining with resolve, the tiger instructor felt a pang of bitterness in his heart. Master, you just up and left, and in doing so, you've made things so hard for you. But Hong Yu did not know the tiger instructor's inner thoughts. His gaze was still fixed on the direction where Hong Tian had disappeared. So this is the power of the Earth Soul Realm. A single glance nearly shattered my consciousness. And this is just the Earth Soul Realm. Above that are the Celestial Soul Realm, the Primordial Core Realm, and even stronger experts. Hong Lin, Hong Tian, one day I, Hong Yu, will possess supreme power and grind you under my heel. A fire was burning in Hong Yu's eyes. This is a world where the strong devour the weak. If you don't have enough strength, you're destined to be trampled underfoot. If you're not strong enough, you have no right to survive. If you're not strong enough, you're just a lamb for the slaughter, your fate a plaything in another's hands. I refuse to live like that. I won't accept it. A storm raged in Hong Yu's heart. Hong Tian's glance, that seemingly casual display of power that had nearly cost him his life, was now branded into his mind, into his heart, into his very bones and every inch of his flesh. It was a memory he could never erase. I won't accept this. Hong Yu clenched his fists, his body trembling slightly. I won't accept being trampled underfoot. I won't accept having to rely on others just to survive. I won't accept my fate being a plaything in someone else's hands, for them to do with as they please. I will get stronger, stronger than ever. I will seize control of my own destiny. No one will ever harm my family again. The day's events had made Hong Yu understand the importance of strength on a profound level. They had also shown him the true law of survival in this world. Without strength, you are destined to have nothing. He gritted his teeth, the indignation in his heart slowly forging itself into an eternal obsession within his soul. He had to get stronger. He would become powerful, no matter the cost. It was a near maniacal obsession, an infinite craving for immense power. In that moment, he seemed to be the very embodiment of an ancient saying. An unwilling heart forges 1,000 obsessions. A youth with such an unyielding obsession was destined for an extraordinary life. Watching the vacant look in the young man's eyes slowly clear and become firm, the tiger instructor was momentarily dazed. He knew that the day's events had dealt the boy a heavy blow, and he could see that this blow had changed Hong Yu profoundly. But he didn't know whether this change was for the better or for the worse, whether it was right or wrong. His myriad thoughts coalesced into a single sigh. Hong Yu, are you all right? Thank you for your concern, instructor, I'm fine. Hong Yu shook his head, giving the tiger instructor a slight smile. Don't worry, instructor. A small setback like this won't break me. Looking at the determination and smile on the young man's face, the tiger instructor didn't know what to say for a moment. He just looked deeply at Hong Yu as an inexplicable glint flashed in his eyes, his profound gaze turning towards the endless sky. Late 8 layers of the essence realm. To think he was hiding such strength. If Master were still here, he would be so proud of the young Master. But alas. Chapter 13-11. Self-inflicted humiliation. Hong Yu turned and walked over to Yun Mengyao's side. Yun Mengyao's eyes were slightly red, but her gaze on Hong Yu shimmered with a bright luster. You're not hurt, are you, little one? Hong Yu asked, ruffling her hair. Yun Mengyao shook her head, a sweet, faint smile gracing her lips. I'm fine. That's good. The two of them, brother and sister, returned to the house. Looking around the empty, messy room, Hong Yu gently pulled Yun Mengyao into his arms. Yao Yao, I promise I'll get stronger. I'll never let you suffer like this again. Yun Mengyao didn't say anything, just nodded forcefully. The little girl's shoulders shook as she began to sob. Society was too cruel, the world too brutal. Every family had its own struggles. You're such a big girl now, still crying your eyes out. You'll never get married at this rate. Hong Yu teased with a smile. Yun Mengyao lifted her small head, crinkling her delicate nose. Wouldn't it be better if I don't get married? Then I can stay with you forever, big brother. You little rascal. Hong Yu dotingly ruffled her hair again. If anyone from the Underground Alliance knew that the great silver hunter Luo also had such a gentle side, they would probably be shocked speechless. However, none of that mattered to Hong Yu. In his past life, Hong Yu had been all alone, desperate for the warmth of a family. After transmigrating, Yun Mengyao was his only kin. Her unwavering loyalty had deeply moved him. And so, Yun Mengyao was everything to him, his reversed scale. Big brother, you should rest first. I'll clean up the house. Yun Mengyao said, her eyes half closed as she enjoyed Hong Yu's gentle touch like a kitten. After a moment, she finally left his embrace. Ever since I came to this family, Yun Mengyao hasn't had a single good day. Watching her slender figure begin to tidy the room, Hong Yu felt a sting in his nose. Hong Yu sighed. Little one, you've had a scare today. Go get some rest. I can take care of the cleaning. The little girl stuck out her tongue and giggled. No need. I'll rest after I finish tidying up. You, on the other hand, must be exhausted, big brother. Go get some sleep. I'll wake you up for dinner. Looking at the stubborn little girl, Hong Yu felt a strange flutter in his heart. Seeing Hong Yu hesitate, Yun Mengyao pouted her pink lips and gently pushed him into the bedroom with her fair, slender arms before returning to the main hall to continue her work. Little one, I will definitely give you a good life. Hong Yu thought as he sat cross-legged on the bed. He clenched his fists and summoned the profound celestial tower, which he could now store inside his body. Hong Lin's rising dragon fist is incredibly powerful. If I can master it, with my current cultivation at the late 8th layer of the essence realm, my combat strength won't be any weaker than a typical expert at the early 9th layer of the essence realm. Martial skills were an excellent way to increase one's strength. This rising dragon fist was a fragment of a profound martial skill. Although it was only considered high level, its value was no less than that of a top-level martial skill, and its power could not be underestimated. Even though Hong Lin had been defeated by Hong Yu while using the rising dragon fist, it was only because Hong Lin himself had just begun to learn it. If Hong Lin had cultivated the rising dragon fist to the perfection realm, the outcome of today's battle would have been much harder to predict. The shadow martial arts function activated again. Hong Yu focused his mind, watching the dark figure in his consciousness space endlessly demonstrate the rising dragon fist. Open corner bracket 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Over these 3 days, Hong Yu not only used the shadow martial arts function to cultivate his rising dragon fist to the mastery realm, but he also took the time to study the tools he had bought, memorizing the use and effects of each item. Open corner bracket on this day. The sun was setting in the west. It was already dusk. Hong Yu sat cross-legged on his bed, his hands placed before his lower abdomen in the 5 hearts to heaven posture. As he circulated his profound skill, surging waves of elemental power condensed from the void and gradually flowed into his body. The aura surrounding Hong Yu reached a critical point. This intense fluctuation of energy continued. He was on the verge of breaking through to the peak of the 8th layer of the essence realm, yet it felt like he was held back by the smallest of hindrances. If he successfully broke through this step, he would advance to the peak of the 8th layer of the essence realm. At that point, he would even be able to fight an expert at the mid-9th layer of the essence realm. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The fluctuations of elemental power in the surrounding space grew more and more violent. At a certain moment, Hong Yu's eyes flew open, a razor-sharp glint flashing within them. A low roar rumbled in his throat as the stagnant aura around his body finally surged and soared once more. He had finally shattered that barrier, successfully stepping into the peak of the 8th layer of the essence realm. Hong Yu's advancement slowly came to a halt. A life and death battle really is the best way to improve one's cultivation. With my current strength, I can even hold my own against an expert at the mid-9th layer of the essence realm. Now I just have to wait for the auction to end, buy the remaining tools, and then I can head to the Dead Soul Mountain range. The corners of Hong Yu's lips curled up slightly, forming a faint arc. Now that he had successfully broken through to the peak of the 8th layer of the essence realm, he just needed a few special tools, and he would definitely be able to complete the Restoring Yin Grass mission. This was crucial to whether he could hire Master Shui Butong to treat Yao Yao, so there was absolutely no room for carelessness. He sat quietly on the bed, experiencing the changes brought by his breakthrough. It wasn't until about an hour later that he finally stood up. After washing up and changing into a clean set of clothes, he headed for the door. The auction for the Yunyuan pill was tonight. The Underground Alliance held a grand auction once every month. At these auctions, every item up for bid was a rare treasure seldom seen on the market. With the Underground Alliance's vast divine techniques, sometimes even desolate beast cubs and strange, non-human lifeforms were auctioned off as goods. Of course, since it was an auction, profound skills, martial skills, and essential pills for cultivation were also indispensable. Luxurious chariots rolled in one after another. The Underground Alliance was divided into an outer court and an inner court. The area where hunters operated was called the inner court, so events like this auction were naturally held in the outer court. Hong Yu arrived at the Underground Alliance on foot. Surveying the bustling scene, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. As expected of the Underground Alliance, its influence is terrifying. Muttering to himself, Hong Yu turned and walked toward the auction house. Just as he turned, the profound celestial tower suddenly issued a dangerous warning. A strong gust of wind rushed at him from behind. Hong Yu's heart tightened. He hurriedly dodged to the side, sliding a good 7 or 8 meters before stopping. His cold gaze shot back toward where he had just been standing. At that moment, where Hong Yu had been standing, a luxurious chariot screeched to a halt, leaving long skid marks behind it. A familiar voice, tinged with a hint of regret, called out, "Oh my, I'm so sorry." The chariot was going too fast to stop in time. As the voice faded, Hong Yun's figure leapt down from the chariot, a smirk playing on his face as he looked at Hong Yu. Hong Yu's face was incredibly grim. "Hong Yun, what is the meaning of this? Aha, isn't this Hong Yu? So sorry, I didn't see anyone in front of me just now and couldn't control the chariot in time." Hong Yun laughed, showing not the slightest hint of an apology. "Didn't see me. This street is 10 meters wide and several hundred meters long. Unless you're blind, how could you not see someone in front of you? Who the hell are you trying to fool?" Hong Yu was furious. He was 200% certain that Hong Yun had done it on purpose. If the profound celestial tower hadn't warned him in time, he would have been sent flying by the speeding chariot. Even if I were at the 9th layer of the essence realm, I couldn't have withstood the fierce impact of a speeding chariot. Just then, Hong Lin slowly descended from the chariot. Compared to 3 days ago, Hong Lin had lost some of his arrogance and impulsiveness, replaced by a cold and steady demeanor. He gave Hong Yu nothing more than a faint glance before looking away, as if Hong Yu were a mere ant unworthy of his attention. Following him, a young man in brocade robes stepped forward. When Hong Yu saw this young man, his eyes narrowed. Hong Luan, Hong Lin's older brother, a peak powerhouse at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm. This man was not only a genius of the Hong family but also a silver hunter with a considerable reputation in the Underground Alliance. In the past, Hong Yu had fought him under the identity of Luo. However, back then, Hong Yu had been narrowly defeated in 3 moves, forced to watch as Hong Luan snatched away the profound beast he had hunted. Sensing the chill in Hong Yu's eyes, Hong Luan narrowed his own. His indifferent gaze swept over Hong Yu, a smirk playing on his lips. So you're Hong Yu, the one who defeated my little brother. For a mere member of a side branch to have such talent, and to have hidden your true strength for so long, it seems your ambitions are quite grand. Hee, interesting, truly interesting. Hong Luan chuckled sinisterly as he, along with Hong Yan and Hong Lin, headed towards the auction house. Hong Luan, Hong Yu let out a long breath. Just you wait. One day, I'll settle all our scores, new and old. Even though Hong Luan was already at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, Hong Yu was completely confident that, given a little more time, surpassing him would be an easy task. Composing himself, Hong Yu walked toward the auction house. When Hong Yu reached the entrance, he once again ran into Hong Luan's group of 3, who had just had their entry tickets checked. A flash of surprise crossed Hong Yan's eyes when he saw Hong Yu approaching. He was only able to attend the auction because of his connection to Hong Lin. But this Hong Yu, Hong Yan narrowed his eyes and sneered, tisk tisk, wonders never cease, but there are more than usual this year. Some people just don't know their own limits. They don't even consider their own status, yet they dream of entering a high-class place like the auction house. Hong Yan deliberately raised his voice, drawing the attention of the surrounding crowd. One by one, smirking gazes drifted toward Hong Yu. Look at the kid's clothes. He's probably some unfavored disciple from a side branch. For someone of his status to think he can enter such a high-class auction, he must be dreaming. The world is never short of people trying to fish in troubled waters. Maybe he can actually get in. Hearing the crowd's murmurs about Hong Yu, even the aloof Hong Lin couldn't help but reveal a faint smile. Hong Yan placed his hands on his hips and sneered, Hong Yu, if I were you, I would have tucked my tail and run long ago. Are you going to stay here and embarrass yourself? Quote. Hong Yu glanced at Hong Yan. He couldn't be bothered to argue and walked directly toward the auction house entrance. Has this guy lost his mind? Who does he think he is? A young master from the Hong family's direct lineage. Daring to brazenly barge into the auction house like this, he's simply asking for death. Hong Yan sneered mockingly. The surrounding crowd shared the same thought. However, when they saw Hong Yu walk into the auction house unimpeded, and even saw the Underground Alliance expert responsible for verifying identities give him a gentle smile, the very people who had been mocking him just moments before were all stunned speechless. Their faces burned, and remembering their earlier taunts felt like a series of merciless slaps across their cheeks. Chapter 14-12. Hong Luan ain't shit. What's going on? Hong Yan's eyes widened. He stormed up to the Underground Alliance expert responsible for verifying identities and roared, What do you think you're doing? How can you just let anyone into the Underground Alliance's auction house? It was no wonder Hong Yan was furious. A single entry ticket to the Underground Alliance's auction cost at least 500 gold coins, equivalent to a normal family of 5's entire yearly expenses. He had only gotten the chance to come and broaden his horizons by riding on Hong Lin's coattails. But now Hong Yu, a guy who in his eyes was from the lowliest side branch, had also managed to get in. What's more, the expert had been even more respectful to Hong Yu than he had been to him. How could Hong Yan possibly accept this? Even after witnessing Hong Yu's terrifying strength and his talent that seemed even more monstrous than Hong Lin's, he still couldn't believe that Hong Yu had clout in the Underground Alliance. The Underground Alliance was famous for its high barrier to entry. People of ordinary status couldn't get in. Hong Yan simply couldn't figure out what other identity Hong Yu was hiding. What Hong Yun didn't know was that any hunter of silver rank or higher could receive a membership card for the auction house. To the Underground Alliance, which prized strength and profit above all else, Hong Yu with his VIP card was naturally more worthy of respect than a freeloader like Hong Yun who relied on connections. Are you going in or not? If not, then get lost. Facing Hong Yun, the Underground Alliance expert's smile vanished, replaced by a cold tone. Hong Yun felt deeply insulted and was about to stamp his feet and argue further. Hong Luan, who was standing to the side, couldn't watch any longer. He snorted coldly, "That's enough. Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough already?" Like a defeated rooster, Hong Yun immediately backed down, timid and fearful. His face grim, Hong Luan led Hong Lin and Hong Yun into the auction house. From beginning to end, Hong Lin hadn't said a single word. But his gaze never left Hong Yu. Deep within his eyes, a well-concealed, cold glint flickered like an insidious viper searching for a chance to strike. Ever since that crushing defeat at Hong Yu's home, he seemed to have undergone a complete transformation. He had become more patient and reserved, no longer as arrogant and domineering as before. But this didn't mean Hong Lin would forget that day's humiliation. He could never forget the person who had mercilessly shattered more than a decade of his pride. However, Hong Tian had once warned him that Hong Yu had the shelter of Tiger instructor Hu Tianwei, appropriately suppressing and sidelining Hong Yu to prevent him from being discovered and valued by other higher-ups, thereby stopping him from becoming a key prospect for the family to cultivate, was the most they could do. If Hong Tian were to move against Hong Yu directly, it would be a public slap in the Tiger instructor's face. Everyone in the Hong family knew that the Tiger instructor had a very unique status. Even the patriarch had to show him some respect and was unwilling to offend him. Combined with the Tiger instructor's unfathomable strength, his position in the Hong family was by no means weak. Once they made an enemy of the Tiger instructor, if he were to join a rival faction in a fit of anger, the resulting impact was not something Hong Tian's faction was willing to bear. Because of this, Hong Lin chose to bide his time. "I've already got a plan," he thought. "The day I break through to the Earth's soul realm will be the day I kill Hong Yu with my own hands and avenge myself." Don't worry, that guy's days are numbered. Seeing his silent brother, Hong Luan knew exactly what he was thinking. He spoke lightly, then added, "Lin, the items at this Underground Alliance auction are all extremely valuable, and some are quite interesting. If you see anything you like later, just tell me. I'll buy it for you as a reward for your promotion to the 7th layer of the Essence Realm." Hong Lin nodded. A short while later, the enchanting Sister Qin appeared on the auction stage, and the auction officially began. One had to admit, Sister Qin's skill at manipulating the crowd was truly formidable. With just a few of her words, seemingly ordinary items would often trigger a frantic bidding war, selling for astronomical prices. The appearance of a young woman from the Charm Spirit race truly pushed the auction to its first climax. As you all know, the men of the Charm Spirit race are handsome, and the women are beautiful. But more importantly, every young woman of the Charm Spirit race possesses a unique innate ability, a remarkable restorative power. Clad in a fire-red cheongsam, Sister Qin glanced at the somber, aloof Charm Spirit race girl in the cage, a trace of apology and pity in her lovely eyes. She continued, "I'm sure everyone here knows what this restorative power means, don't you? Heh, who doesn't know that Charm Spirit race women make the best maids? Tisk tisk, I've wanted to get my hands on one to play with for a long time. I've heard that a Charm Spirit race girl's virginity is eternal. She's restored to her original state by the next day. This young master must have such a priceless treasure." Hearing the crowd's shameless discussion, a flicker of gloom and despair passed through the aloof girl's azure eyes, making her look utterly pitiful. Sister Qin sighed softly. She couldn't bear it, but she had a job to do. Everyone knows the value of a Charm Spirit race maiden. Her starting price is 50,000 gold coins, and each bid must be an increment of at least 5,000 gold coins. The moment she finished speaking, a fierce bidding war erupted. "Lin, are you interested?" Hong Luan asked. Hong Lin lifted his eyelids slightly, only to shake his head. Ha, then I'll take her for myself." Hong Luan laughed, directly bidding 100,000. In a corner of the auction house, the masked Hong Yu watched with cold detachment. He let the glamorous, high and mighty figures of Shishui City spend money like water, acting as if it all had nothing to do with him. The auctioning of martial skills, profound skills, spirit pills, and even living beings had nothing to do with him. He didn't have the energy to feel sorry for the world. The strong prey on the weak, that was the most fundamental law of survival. In the end, the charmed spirit race girl was bought by Hong Luan for 150,000 gold coins. The financial power of Shishui City's #1 noble family was no joke. The auction unknowingly reached its final stages. At this moment, even Hong Yu, who had been watching with cold detachment, couldn't help but feel a little tense. Sister Qin's eyes were full of charm as she cast a subtle glance in Hong Yu's direction, her sweet, alluring voice like music from the heavens. The next item up for auction is rather special. This is a bottle of pills called Yunyuan pills, a first-grade spirit pill. But according to the appraisal of the Alliance's chief authenticator, its value far exceeds that of an ordinary first-grade spirit pill. This bottle of Yunyuan pills has the miraculous effect of nourishing the primordial vein. Furthermore, its efficacy is 10 times that of a nourishing essence pill, Sister Qin said slowly. To a martial artist, the primordial vein was equivalent to a second life. Although the nourishing essence pill was not a grade-entering spirit pill, it was known as a pseudo-spirit pill because of its ability to nourish the primordial vein. A single nourishing essence pill could easily sell for over 1,000 gold coins. Since this Yunyuan pill was 10 times more effective, it was worth at least 10 to 20,000. But that alone wasn't enough to make it the finale item. Everyone present was sharp, and they all waited for Sister Qin's explanation. Sister Qin smiled faintly and dropped another bombshell. I'm sure everyone is wondering, if it only nourishes the primordial vein, this Yunyuan pill would only be worth tens of thousands of gold coins. Why would the Alliance place so much importance on it? Hee, that's because this bottle of Yunyuan pills has another effect. It has the effect of helping to condense a primordial spirit. According to the Alliance's chief authenticator, a 9th-level essence element powerhouse who takes this bottle of Yunyuan pills will have an 80% chance of condensing their primordial spirit and breaking through to the Earth's soul realm. Even for those who are not at the 9th layer of the essence realm, any expert within the essence realm can break through 1 or 2 minor realms after taking this pill. After saying all this, Sister Qin stood demurely on the stage, a smile playing on her lips. What, an 80% chance to break through to the Earth's soul realm? That's an effect that surpasses even ordinary first-grade spirit pills. With the guarantee of the Underground Alliance's chief authenticator, the effects of the Yunyuan pill can't be fake. I must have it. I absolutely must have it. Her words undoubtedly caused a huge stir, and the crowd below erupted in discussion. Condense a primordial spirit, advance to the Earth's soul realm, and break through minor realms. Hong Lin, who had been looking down the whole time, suddenly snapped his head up. He stared at the crystal bottle, his voice a little hoarse. Brother, I want that. All right. Hong Luan was taken aback for a moment, then nodded. Seeing that the atmosphere was sufficiently hyped, Sister Qin waved her hand. The starting price is 0. Let the bidding begin. 10,000. 30,000. This item is mine. 50,000. The price soared higher and higher. In the corner, Hong Yu's expression remained as calm as ever. Go on, bid, he thought. The higher the price, the better. As long as I have money, what do I have to fear? I can get even better pills. With enough money, I can buy some grade-entering spirit medicine to bribe little one. Forget Yunyuan pills, even higher-level spirit pills won't be a problem. Since I have little one and the profound celestial tower, I certainly won't be satisfied with becoming an ordinary Earth's soul realm cultivator. My goals are far grander and greater. Before anyone knew it, the price had risen to 90,000. The bidder was a moderately famous advanced apprentice craftsman from Shishui City. He said arrogantly, I'll be taking this Yunyuan pill. I hope you will all do me the favor. Spiritual craftsmen held a special status. Even an advanced apprentice craftsman who was just on the verge of becoming a Tier 1 spiritual craftsman had considerable standing. As soon as he spoke, several eager bidders backed down. But Hong Luan just snorted coldly and said indifferently, just because you say you want it, we should give it to you. HMPH, I, Hong Luan, am determined to have this bottle of Yunyuan pills. 100,000. Hong Luan shot the apprentice craftsman a disdainful glance, thinking, if you were a real spiritual craftsman, this young master would buy this pill and gift it to you. But a mere apprentice craftsman. Who do you think you are? The Hong family's genius, Hong Luan. So rich and overbearing. The apprentice craftsman's face went pale, but the Hong family was a behemoth he couldn't possibly shake. In the end, he could only grit his teeth resentfully, snort, and stop bidding. Seeing this, everyone sighed inwardly. It seemed this bottle of Yunyuan pills was most likely going to fall into Hong Luan's hands. However, just as Sister Chin was preparing for one strike decides the tune, an indifferent voice echoed through the auction hall, causing the smug and excited expressions on Hong Luan and Hong Lin's faces to freeze. Hong Luan is jack squat. Just because you want it, you think you can have it. HMPH, I'm determined to have this Yunyuan pill, too, 150,000. Chapter 15-13, Sucker. 150,000. As soon as the words were spoken, the entire auction house fell silent. The reason was simple. This Cheng Yaojun who had appeared out of nowhere was simply too audacious. What was a Hong Luan? And who was Hong Luan? He was the grandson of the seventh elder of the Hong family, the #1 noble family in Shishui City. At a young age, he had already reached the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm. One must understand that in a region of Shishui City's level, being able to break through to the 7th layer of the Essence Realm before the age of 18 made one a promising raw talent. If one could reach the 9th layer of the Essence Realm before 20, they were worthy of being called a genius. At 19 and a half, Hong Luan was already at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, ranking among the top 10 of the younger generation in the vast Shishui City. Furthermore, before Luo came along, he had been the youngest silver level hunter in the Underground Alliance and the captain of the renowned Demon Blood Squad. Who in Shishui City didn't know of such a figure? And yet this guy had just said he was nothing. One hardly needed to look at Hong Luan's face. Everyone could imagine just how furious he was at this moment. Who is it? With a dark expression, his eyes glittering with a cold light like a viper's, Hong Luan scanned the auction house. He finally spotted Hong Yu's figure in the crowd. His brow twitched. He had clearly recognized Hong Yu. I was wondering who it was, he said coldly. So it's the famous silver hunter, Luo. Heh, you dare to compete with me for something. It seems the last lesson didn't teach you that some people are not to be offended. Cut the crap. I bid 150,000. If you have the money, then make a bid. If not, then get lost, Hong Yu said flatly. His voice was loud, echoing throughout the auction house. Everyone's expressions turned a little strange, and they all looked toward Hong Luan. This damn bastard, how dare he speak to me like that? A cold glint flashed in Hong Luan's eyes. Ever since he was a child, the one thing he hated most was being looked down upon. For Hong Yu to openly provoke him was simply unforgivable. Taking a deep breath, Hong Luan said viciously, competing with money. Ha! In all of Shishui City, who dares to compare their wealth with my Hong family? He shouted, 200,000 gold coins. Whoa! As expected of the Hong family, adding 50,000 gold coins in one go. I hear that Luo is a lone hunter. He probably can't afford to bid any higher, can he? Young people are just too reckless. He could have offended anyone, but he just had to provoke young master Hong Luan. Although the Yunyuan pill was precious, its actual value was only around 100,000 gold coins. Hong Luan's move to instantly raise the price to 200,000 truly shocked everyone. Dumbass. A mere lone hunter at the silver level dares to provoke me. Today, I'll humiliate you so thoroughly you won't know what hit you. Hong Luan thought sinisterly. He could already picture the embarrassing and helpless state Luo would be in, faced with a bid of 200,000 gold coins after daring to provoke him. But his fantasy was rich, while reality was cruel. Without a moment's hesitation, Hong Yu shouted, bidding in 50,000 increments is too slow. I'm determined to get this Yunyuan pill. 300,000 gold coins. ... Everyone's mouths were wide open, unable to speak. One must understand that in today's world, 500 gold coins were enough to support a family of 5 for more than a year. As for 10,000 gold coins, that was enough to buy a decent property in Shishui City. With Hong Luan's status, the annual allowance he could receive from the Hong family was only about 1,000,000 gold coins. If not for the considerable profits from his demon blood squad, he wouldn't dare to be so extravagant. So, while everyone was shocked when Hong Luan opened with a bid of 200,000 gold coins, it was understandable when they considered the Hong family's wealth and his status. But for a lone hunter like Hong Yu, with no backing, to bid 300,000 gold coins, that brought more than just simple shock. This damn guy, how could he possibly have so much money? Hong Luan trembled with anger. As a silver hunter himself, he knew very well that the reward for a mission a silver hunter would accept was typically between 10,000 and 50,000 gold coins, and such missions were never easy. Moreover, which hunter who joined the Underground Alliance wasn't aiming for the Cultivation quiet chambers? Almost all of their income would be spent on buying time in a Cultivation quiet chamber. Even with the support of the Demon Blood Squad, Hong Luan could only save a little over 100,000 gold coins by the end of the year. Just as Hong Luan was stewing in his frustration, Hong Yu's light voice sounded again. Out of money. If you're out of money, you should just give up. Hearing this, Hong Luan felt the blood rush to his head in a fit of rage. He roared, "Me, out of money? What the hell kind of joke is that? I'm determined to get this bottle of pills, 350,000 gold coins. Follow that, if you have the guts." Hong Luan gritted his teeth viciously, thinking, "This damn bastard, he dares to provoke me again and again. Today, I'll crush you with money. I'll make you understand that a commoner can never compare to a young master from a great family born with a silver spoon in his mouth." Beside him, however, Hong Lin frowned. "Big brother, if he raises the price again, we should give up." Hong Luan was taken aback. Hong Lin said, "I have a feeling that guy isn't genuinely trying to get this spirit medicine." "You mean he's trying to trap me?" Hong Luan said with dawning realization. Hong Lin nodded. Hong Luan wasn't a complete idiot, he had just been so enraged by Hong Yu that he acted impulsively. After Hong Lin's reminder, he gradually calmed down and muttered, "Fine. If he calls out another price, I'll stop." The two Hong brothers spoke in low voices, but the subtle change in their expressions didn't escape Hong Yu's eyes. A mocking smile played on his lips. "Tisk tisk, 350,000. That price is about right. If I add any more, he probably won't follow. I really wonder what kind of expression he'd make if he knew that this Yunyuan pill came from my own hands, and that I could do the refining to eat them like candy if I wanted to." A playful smile on his lips, Hong Yu said, "Since young master Hong Luan has such a special fondness for the Yunyuan pill, I'll let you have it." With that, Hong Yu stuck his hands in his pockets and actually turned to leave. No one noticed the cold, sharp curve of his lips beneath his icy mask. "Hong Luan, consider this the interest for your ruthlessness in snatching that fox the other day." Staring at Hong Yu's nonchalant departure, Hong Luan was momentarily stunned. He didn't snap out of it until he felt the strange gazes of the crowd on him. He nearly beat his chest and stamped his feet. Damn it, that bastard really was setting me up. This Yunyuan pill only increased the chances of advancing to the Earth's soul realm by a small percentage. A price of around 100,000 was already the absolute limit. If, even now, Hong Luan couldn't figure out that Hong Yu had been digging a pit to trap him, then he would have lived his 19 years in vain. But the problem was, everyone was looking at him. Hong Luan couldn't afford to lose face. Even knowing he had been trapped, he could only bite the bullet and force a stiff smile, saying nonchalantly, "It's merely 300-some thousand gold coins. To me, that's just pocket change. Not like some country bumpkin who has to pinch every penny." As expected of the Hong family's young master, so wealthy and grand. Look at his magnanimity. 350,000 gold coins is just pocket change. Now that's a true big spender. Heh, you flatter me. While Hong Luan exchanged false pleasantries, his heart was bleeding. He thought viciously, "Damn you. You'd better pray you don't fall into my hands. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead." Naturally, Hong Yu was unaware of Hong Luan's resentment. He had already gone backstage. After waiting for about 10 minutes, the auction successfully concluded, and an arrogant-looking Wang Zi, the advanced apprentice craftsman, walked up to Hong Yu. Wang Zi gave Hong Yu a strange look and said indifferently, I really don't know what kind of idiot with his head caught in a door would spend 350,000 gold coins. Hey, the world is never short of nouveau riche. Hong Yu chuckled. Wang Zi gave a lukewarm smile, not even bothering to look Hong Yu in the eye. He said coolly, 300,000 of these gold coins are yours. The other 50,000 is the auction house's fee. Wang Zi tossed a gold card to Hong Yu. It was a gold card from the continent-wide Wantong Bank, which had branches for exchanging gold coins in every city. Hong Yu accepted the gold card with a smile. I'll be leaving then. His mind on the mission for the restoring yin grass, Hong Yu took the gold card and turned to leave. He didn't notice, however, that his meeting with Wang Zi had been witnessed by Hong Luan's group as they were leaving the auction house. Hong Luan frowned. This Wang Zi is the apprentice of the Underground Alliance's chief spiritual craftsman. Why would that Luo be mixed up with him? Filled with suspicion, Hong Luan approached Wang Zi and asked probingly, Brother Wang, who was that guy just now? Ah, if it isn't young Master Hong Luan. Wang Zi and Hong Luan were somewhat acquainted. He greeted him with a smile, then shook his head and sneered, that guy is a hunter, named Luo or something. A while ago, he brought a Yunyuan pill to the Underground Alliance and commissioned us to auction it for him. That Yunyuan pill was only tier 1 low-level quality. Although its effects are unique, its value is at most a little over 100,000 gold coins. I have no idea what kind of sucker with his head caught in a door was willing to spend 350,000 gold coins on it. It let that guy make a real windfall. Wang Zi waited a moment, but Hong Luan didn't speak. He looked at him in confusion. Young Master Hong Luan, why does your face look so awful? At this moment, Hong Luan's complexion could only be described as colorful, as if he had swallowed a fly in his moment of greatest triumph. It was quite a spectacle. His teeth were grinding together, and his body was trembling slightly. Damn it, the sucker with his head caught in a door you're talking about is me. How the hell do you expect my face to look good? Open corner bracket. Meanwhile, having just purchased the tools to deal with the red yin poison scorpion from the Shishui city market, Hong Yu was about to pay when he suddenly sneezed. He rubbed his nose and muttered, who the hell is cursing me behind my back? Your package, young sir. The shopkeeper said with a fawning smile, rubbing his hands together. He had seen it clearly just now. The young man before him was holding a Wantong Bank gold card with a balance of over 100,000. Hong Yu gave a casual reply, put away his things, and turned to leave. Yao Yao has Tiger Steward looking after her, so there shouldn't be any problems. Next up, it's time to head to the Dead Soul Mountain Range to find the Restoring Yin Grass and complete this mission. The mission for the Restoring Yin Grass had a 1-month time limit, and he had already delayed for quite some time. To avoid another hunter getting there first, he had to hurry. Mounting a black steed he had just bought, Hong Yu pulled on the reins. The black horse, like an untethered beast, shot forward on its 4 hooves, vanishing like a gust of wind. Destination: the Dead Soul Mountain Range. Chapter 16-14, Demon Blood Squad. The Dead Soul Mountain Range was a 10-day journey from Shishui City. Fortunately, with his 300,000 gold coins, Hong Yu was feeling quite wealthy. He bought a prized, swift steed that was incredibly fast. In just 5 days, he reached the Dead Soul Mountain Range. Any further and I'll be in the Dead Soul Mountain Range proper. There are plenty of desolate beasts in there, so it's not wise to take the horse any deeper. Looks like I'll have to go the rest of the way on foot. Hong Yu dismounted, gazing somewhat helplessly at the endless, rolling mountain range. He removed the saddle and tack from the black horse, letting it roam free, and then stepped into the dreaded Dead Soul Mountain Range. The Dead Soul Mountain Range had treacherous terrain and was home to many powerful desolate beasts. Countless powerhouses had met their end within it, and it was their lost souls that gave the range its name. Roar. Hong Yu had been in the mountain range for barely an hour when he was attacked by a desolate beast. It was a tier 1 low-level desolate beast, a tusked demon pig. Desolate beasts were divided into 9 tiers, each with low, medium, and high levels that corresponded to the cultivation realms of human martial artists. This tusked demon pig was ferocious and possessed immense strength. Its most dangerous move was its snout charge, executed with its 2 massive tusks. This simple-sounding attack was not to be underestimated. A tusked demon pig's charge could easily shatter a boulder weighing thousands of pounds. "You damn beast, I'm going to skin you alive." Hong Yu laughed heartily and attacked. Dealing with a tusked demon pig was no longer a difficult task for him. His fists rained down like boulders, each blow generating a howling wind that sent the nearby saplings rustling. Combined with his extensive combat experience, it only took a few exchanges for Hong Yu to break the ferocious tusked demon pig's tusks and beat it to death. The foreleg of a tusked demon pig is a true delicacy, and I happen to be hungry. I'll have it for dinner. Hong Yu deftly sliced off the tusked demon pig's foreleg, set up a campfire with a roasting rack, and placed the leg on it to cook. Before long, a sizzle filled the air as the fat began to render. The adult-sized pig leg turned a beautiful golden brown, glistening as fat rolled across its surface, and the mouth-watering aroma of roasted meat drifted through the air. Hong Yu's own mouth watered. He carved off a piece to savor it, and before he knew it, half the leg was already in his stomach. Wiping the grease from his lips, he sighed with satisfaction. Absolutely delicious. If only I had a few beers to go with it, this would be perfect. Unfortunately, beer was obviously not something he was going to find here. There was no beer, but that didn't mean there was no trouble. Just as Hong Yu was about to finish off the other half of the pig leg, several surprised voices drifted from the bushes behind him. "Ha, that smells incredible. Is someone roasting meat over there? Ha ha ha, perfect timing. I'm starving. Let's go take a look." The voices were accompanied by the sharp whistle of figures cutting through the air. "Someone's here." Startled, Hong Yu pulled a mask from his robes and put it on. He had grown accustomed to operating under the identity of Luo. After all, as a hunter, he often had to assassinate targets for missions, and it was inevitable that he would make enemies. In such situations, a false identity was crucial. Just then, the figures drawn by the aroma of the roast finally appeared. It was a party of 5, all of them middle-aged men. Each wore the tight-fitting black attire of a martial artist. The 5 men stood shoulder to shoulder, exuding a ferocious aura that gave them the air of a black society gang on an outing. One of them, a skinny man with shifty, weaselly eyes, caught sight of the fragrant roasted pig leg and swallowed hard. He then turned to Hong Yu. "Hey, kid, we're the Demon Blood Squad of the Underground Alliance. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and bring that roast over here." The Demon Blood Squad. Hong Yu froze. He and the Demon Blood Squad had quite a history. Back when Hong Yu was still a bronze-level hunter, someone had stolen the fruits of his labor right out from under him during a mission. The ones who did it were none other than the Demon Blood Squad. And Hong Luan was the captain of the Demon Blood Squad. Enemies really are bound to cross paths, Hong Yu thought. He grumbled to himself. As much as he wanted to settle things with the Demon Blood Squad, completing his mission for the restoring yin grass was more important right now. Ignoring the man's yelling, Hong Yu rose to his feet and picked up the half-roasted pig leg. He started to walk in the opposite direction, saying over his shoulder, "If you want to eat, cook it yourself." "Damn it, that kid is arrogant. Heh heh, I guess his skin's itching for a beating." The weaselly man gave a sinister laugh. "Kid, a moment ago, I just wanted that roasted piece of pig leg you have. But now, I've changed my mind. Not only are you going to hand that over, but you're also going to obediently roast the rest of that tusked demon pig for us. Otherwise, you're not leaving here today." Hong Yu felt helpless. Did I step in something? Why is everyone trying to bully me today? Seeing Hong Yu remain unmoved, a cold glint flashed in the skinny man's eyes. 2 short daggers appeared in his hands, shimmering with a dark green light. They were clearly coated in a deadly poison. The skinny man flicked his scarlet tongue over his lips, a bloodthirsty look on his face as he sneered. "Kid, are you going to do as you're told, or are you going to put up a futile struggle? Your choice." "I choose my ass." His patience exhausted, Hong Yu spun around and shot the man a ferocious glare. This was the first time they had truly come face to face. "What, it's you. I knew that silhouette looked familiar. So it was you, kid. Ha ha, Luo, you little punk. You were fast enough to get away last time, so we couldn't take an arm. Looks like this time you're planning on leaving your whole life behind." The members of the Demon Blood Squad all recognized Hong Yu. Sneering, the 5 of them moved as one, surrounding him. The Demon Blood Squad's combat prowess was nothing to scoff at. Aside from their captain, Hong Luan, who was at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, the other 5 were all experts at the 7th layer of the Essence Realm or higher. The exceptionally burly giant among them was even at the early 9th layer of the Essence Realm. Having spent years living dangerously on the edge, the 5 of them together were strong enough to kill even a peak Essence Realm expert, despite Hong Luan's absence. Faced with the Demon Blood Squad's all-out pincer attack, Hong Yu remained calm and composed. A cold light flashed in his eyes. He spun, lashing out with a vicious kick that generated a gale powerful enough to make one's eardrums ache. His opponent clearly hadn't expected Hong Yu to dare fight back under these circumstances and was caught completely off guard, taking the full force of the kick to his face. The man was only at the peak of the 7th layer of the Essence Realm. The sheer force of the kick caved in one side of his face. He spat out a mouthful of blood and shattered teeth as his body was sent flying backward. "You damn kid, you dare hurt my brother. I'll take your life." The burly giant roared, his massive, bear-like frame stirring up a vicious gale as his hammer-like fist came crashing down. This punch was fueled by rage, containing the giant's immense power. Combined with his innate divine strength, it was not a blow that could be blocked head-on. A glint appeared in Hong Yu's eyes. Tapping his feet against the ground, he spun away like a top, narrowly dodging the giant's seemingly unavoidable punch. For all his immense strength, the giant lacked agility. Punching empty air sent him stumbling forward, nearly toppling over. Hong Yu seized the opening, turning back and smashing the half-eaten pig leg against him. Even though he had eaten most of it, the remaining leg was still as long as a man's thigh. Including the heavy bone, it weighed over 100 pounds. It landed on the giant's back with a resounding thud. Gah! The giant let out a muffled grunt as he was smashed to the ground. My God, when did this guy get so strong? The skinny, weasel-faced man stared, dumbfounded. He distinctly remembered that during their last clash not long ago, the boy had only been at the 6th layer of the Essence Realm. Forget the giant. Even he, a 7th layer cultivator, would have been more than enough to wear him down. But in just a few short months, he's actually grown this strong. This kid's potential is too great. We have to eliminate him before he becomes a bigger problem. A cold light flashed in the skinny man's eyes. He crept closer to Hong Yu and thrust his poisoned dagger forward. Die, kid, ha ha ha, sneak attacks are Skinny's specialty. That kid is dead for sure. Going up against our Demon Blood Squad is a death wish. Seeing this, the other men's faces lit up with ecstatic glee. Skinny's role in the squad was that of an assassin. With one of his sneak attacks, even the giant at the 9th layer of the Essence Realm could be killed if caught off guard. They could already picture the dagger sinking into Hong Yu, who would then collapse and die from the poison. However, just as the dagger, glinting with a black light, was about to strike Hong Yu, the masked Yu's lips curved into an icy smirk. He swung the half-eaten pig leg up again. Squelch! The dagger plunged deep into the meat. Without a moment's pause, Hong Yu unleashed the full power of the peak of the 8th layer of the Essence Realm, smashing his fist into Skinny's face. No! A look of terror crossed Skinny's face, but he was too slow to dodge. Crunch! The punch landed squarely on his face. Skinny's features were instantly crushed together as his entire face caved in. A gruesome mixture of red and white flowed from his eyes, nose, and mouth. He collapsed, dead. What? Skinny's sneak attack failed. This kid's too tough. Quick! Signal the captain. The 2 remaining men hastily retreated, putting distance between themselves and Hong Yu as one of them launched a signal flare soaring into the sky. Not good. They're calling for backup. Hong Yu's heart sank. This wasn't his first run-in with the Demon Blood Squad. He knew exactly what that flare was for. Hong Yu focused his senses and felt a potent aura rapidly approaching from the distance. His expression changed. That must be Hong Luan. I'm no match for him right now. I need to avoid him for now. He shot an indifferent glance at the grim-faced members of the Demon Blood Squad, snorted coldly, then turned and bolted deeper into the Dead Soul Mountain range. 10 breaths after Hong Yu disappeared, a lithe, cheetah-like figure arrived on the scene. It was a cold-eyed young man dressed in fine, embroidered robes. He glanced at his squad. 1 dead, 2 injured, and the chilling light in his eyes intensified. Who did this? It was Luo. The giant answered, having recovered his senses. That bastard again. The young man snarled, his killing intent surging. This was, of course, the captain of the Demon Blood Squad, Hong Luan. Hong Luan's gaze swept over Skinny's body, and the flames of rage in his eyes burned even brighter. His voice was laced with a chilling killing intent. Well done, Luo. Ha ha. To provoke this young master's authority time and time again. I will make sure your death is slow and rhythmic. Chapter 17-15. Red Yin Poison Scorpion. Captain, what should we do now? The giant asked. Hong Luan narrowed his eyes, a sharp glint within them. He mused, the most important thing right now is to complete the mission as soon as possible. The reward for this mission is a favor from Master Shui Butong. If I can complete it, I can even ask Master Shui to take me as his disciple and teach me the art of a spiritual craftsman. When that happens, my position in the clan will be even more secure, maybe even on par with those 5. As it turned out, Hong Luan's Demon Blood Squad had just returned to Shishui City a few days ago after completing another mission. It was then that they discovered the Restoring Yin Grass mission posted by Shui Butong and accepted it at the Underground Alliance. They should have arrived here days ago, but an auction at the Underground Alliance was about to take place, so Hong Luan delayed for some time. Only after the auction ended did he lead the Demon Blood Squad here. He had been resting while the giant and the others went out to find food, never expecting to run into Hong Yu. A trickle of blood hung from the corner of the giant's mouth. His large, round eyes flickered with venom and resentment as he said in a low voice, "Captain, are we just going to let that brat go?" "Let him go. HMPH. Have you ever seen anyone who offended me come to a good end?" Hong Luan's crimson tongue darted out to lick the corner of his lips, a savage and cold look on his face. He said lightly, "However, the most important thing now is completing the Restoring Yin Grass mission. This matter is crucial. As for that Luo, GG, if my guess is correct, he's probably here for this mission too. When the time comes, we'll have plenty of opportunities for revenge." "Young master is brilliant," the giant said quickly. Hong Luan glanced at Skinny's gruesome corpse and frowned. "Bury him. We're picking up the pace and heading to the Valley of the Dead." Open corner bracket ... close corner bracket. Open corner bracket Clearwater River. This river flowed through the entirety of the Dead Soul Mountain Range. On the bank of one of its segments, a masked youth darted through the trees with the agility of an ape and landed by the shore. "Damn it, good thing I ran fast enough. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble if I ran into Hong Luan." Hong Yu took off his mask and let out a long sigh of relief. On the path of the martial Tao, the higher the realm, the greater the disparity in strength. Thanks to his primordial veins and body, which had become exceptionally tough after being nurtured by the profound celestial tower, and supplemented by his vast combat experience, Hong Yu was not only fearless against powerhouses of the same realm but could even challenge those a level above his own. However, this kind of cross-level combat had its limits. Even if he broke through to the 9th layer of the Essence Realm in the future and could disregard any powerhouse within the 9th layer realm, he would be no match if his opponent were in the Earth's Soul Realm. After all, once a martial artist reached the Earth's Soul Realm, their primordial veins would be fully formed. After condensing a primordial spirit, they would be able to wield the power of primordial spirit. This power was far more formidable than brute strength or physical prowess. Even the weakest Earth's Soul Realm powerhouse could easily kill the strongest peak of Essence Realm powerhouse. This was a fundamental difference that could not be easily overcome or ignored. Although Hong Luan had not yet reached the Earth's Soul Realm, he was already at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, just one step away from condensing his primordial spirit. What's more, he had 4 members of the Demon Blood Squad with him. In his current condition, it was obviously unwise to fight them head-on. Why are Hong Luan and his Demon Blood Squad in the Dead Soul Mountain Range? Could it be they also accepted the Restoring Yin Grass mission? Hong Yu splashed the cold river water on his face, his gaze deep in thought. "I hope this is just a coincidence. Otherwise, I'm afraid this mission won't go so smoothly. Whatever. The Restoring Yin Grass mission concerns Yao Yao's life. Even if I really have to face Hong Luan, I can only fight to the death." Hong Yu's gaze was deep and resolute. Yun Mengyao was his, and he would absolutely not allow any harm to come to her. After resting for a while, Hong Yu continued on his way. The Valley of the Dead was located in the middle section of the Clearwater River. When he had accepted the mission, he had also received a map from the Underground Alliance. In the middle section of the Clearwater River was a massive waterfall, and the entrance to the Valley of the Dead was behind this great cascade, which resembled a galaxy falling from 9 heavens. Hong Yu spent a day and a night traveling and finally arrived at the waterfall outside the entrance to the Valley of the Dead. He didn't rush into the Valley of the Dead. Since he suspected that Hong Luan and the Demon Blood Squad might also be there for the Restoring Yin Grass mission, he had to be extra cautious. He crouched in a hidden spot and waited for half a day. Seeing no unusual activity, Hong Yu finally began to sneak carefully toward the waterfall. The entrance was a rock cave about 10 meters high. Hong Yu passed through the turbulent curtain of water and finally stepped inside. Perhaps because of the waterfall outside, the cave passage was extremely damp and cold. The moment he entered, Hong Yu felt gusts of sinister, cold wind, and goosebumps erupted all over his skin. A faint, rotten, fishy smell filled his nostrils, making him feel nauseous. Fortunately, he had prepared for this and had scented herbs in his mouth to ward off the odor, which lessened the sick feeling somewhat. Hong Yu fumbled his way through the dark cavern. The cave passage was very long, and the darkness made it difficult to advance quickly. It took Hong Yu a full 2 hours to see the exit. Beyond the cave mouth was the Valley of the Dead. If the lands outside the Dead Soul Mountain Range were merely treacherous terrain with ambushing desolate beasts, then the inside of the Valley of the Dead was an Asura purgatory. The entire Valley of the Dead spanned several thousand square meters and was flat as far as the eye could see. But this flat ground was piled high with ghastly white skeletons, human, ordinary beast, and even powerful desolate beast skeletons. Not far in front of Hong Yu lay the 7-meter-long carcass of a giant python. A piece of rotting flesh still clung to its stark white bones, emitting a pungent stench, with a swarm of flies circling above it. All this was the food captured by the Tier 1 advanced desolate beast that resided in the Valley of the Dead, the red yin poison scorpion. As far as the eye could see, there were no fewer than 10,000 skeletons in the entire Valley of the Dead. Hong Yu's pupils contracted. He had spotted a black figure slowly moving several hundred meters away. Not daring to be the least bit careless, Hong Yu quickly ducked to the side and focused his gaze. About 300 meters away was an open area where the soil was dark red, the result of being irrigated with blood for years, causing a qualitative change in the earth. In the center of this clearing, a black figure was dragging a tusked demon pig over 5 meters long and beginning to feed. This creature was the red yin poison scorpion. So this is the red yin poison scorpion. What a ferocious beast. It really lives up to its reputation. In Hong Yu's line of sight, the red yin poison scorpion's body alone was 5 meters long, not to mention the hooked scorpion tail over 3 meters long on its back. Even from several hundred meters away, Hong Yu could still see the dark venom glistening on its poisonous tail, a deadly poison that even an Earth Soul Realm powerhouse would fear. Hong Yu didn't act rashly. He was accustomed to formulating a plan before making a move. Open corner bracket. A short while later, Hong Yu finally discovered the goal of his trip in the center of the clearing where the red yin poison scorpion was located, the Restoring Yin Grass. This Restoring Yin Grass used fresh blood as nutrients and deadly poison as a growth stimulant. This was the only place in the vast Dead Soul Mountain Range where it grew. Furthermore, the red yin poison scorpion loved to devour poisonous things, and this Restoring Yin Grass was one of its favorite foods. The only way to obtain it was to kill the red yin poison scorpion. I have to set everything up before it discovers me, then lure it over. Hong Yu mused. Faced with a red yin poison scorpion whose defenses were so tough that even an Earth Soul Realm powerhouse would struggle to break them, and which also possessed an unparalleled poison, even a late-stage Earth Soul Realm powerhouse would have to deal with it carefully. He took out the items he had prepared from his bag. One by one, the antitoxic pill, cloud-piercing bow, and armor-piercing arrows appeared. Hong Yu first took an antitoxic pill. This was to prevent being struck by the scorpion's poisonous tail during the upcoming battle. Then, using other tools he had purchased, Hong Yu set up 3 traps, all specifically designed for a desolate beast with astonishing defenses like the red yin poison scorpion. Once everything was in place, Hong Yu took out the cloud-piercing bow and an armor-piercing arrow. If he hadn't broken through, Hong Yu would have definitely needed to make more thorough preparations. However, with his current cultivation, he no longer feared a mid-9th layer Essence Realm powerhouse. Combined with the 3 traps, it was enough to deal with the red yin poison scorpion. Staring at the distant red yin poison scorpion, Hong Yu took a deep breath, knocked an arrow to his bow, and took an arrow step forward. With a low shout, he abruptly exerted his strength. Powerful force traveled from his legs, up through his waist, and finally converged in his arms. The muscles in both his arms bulged instantly, filled with explosive power. The tough cloud-piercing bow was drawn into a full circle with a creaking sound. Twang! Whoosh! The bowstring vibrated, and the sharp arrow tore through the air. The piercing, wind-breaking sound echoed through the Valley of the Dead, instantly attracting the red yin poison scorpion's attention. It instinctively sensed danger and prepared to dodge, but Hong Yu had put all his strength into this shot. The arrow was so fast that the red yin poison scorpion had no time to evade. Thud! With a muffled sound, the armor-piercing arrow penetrated the red yin poison scorpion's thick carapace and embedded itself in its back. The shaft of the arrow trembled, and the fletching at its tail quivered. Roar! The armor-piercing arrow was incredibly powerful, it could even pierce the law enforcement divine armor. The intense, sharp pain caused the red yin poison scorpion to let out a piercing roar. But the scorpion was simply too powerful. Unless a vital spot like the heart was hit, it was difficult to kill it with a single blow. It violently flung away the tusked demon pig in its maw, its 8 long legs scrabbling as it turned to face Hong Yu. Roar! The red yin poison scorpion locked onto Hong Yu's aura and, with an enraged roar, charged swiftly toward him. The creature was enormous and immensely powerful. It plowed through skeletons like an autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves, sending ghastly white bones flying into the air. A storm of bone fragments kicked up in its wake, and its menacing momentum was no less imposing than that of a charging army of thousands. A sharp killing intent washed over Hong Yu, making his heart sink. Damn beast! No matter how ferocious you are, I, Hong Yu, will take your life today. Hong Yu showed no fear. On the contrary, his fighting spirit soared. A long spear appeared in his hand. Normally, this spear could be disassembled into several sections for easy carrying, but it could be assembled into a weapon for combat. With the spear in hand, Hong Yu's heroic spirit soared. He too let out a roar and charged toward the red yin poison scorpion. The most difficult and dangerous battle of Hong Yu's life had just begun. Would Hong Yu's skill prove superior? Or would the red yin poison scorpion's ferocity prevail? Everything was still unknown. Chapter 18-16. Trapping and killing the poisonous scorpion. The red yin poison scorpion was ferocious and bloodthirsty by nature. Its territorial instincts were incredibly strong. The vast Valley of the Dead was its kingdom, and it absolutely would not permit any living creature to set foot inside. Much less a human who dared to spy on it while it was eating. Roar! Its 8 massive legs struck like 8 long spears, stirring up a vicious gale. In a flash of cold light, they were right in front of Hong Yu. Fortunately, Hong Yu was prepared. He stopped and darted in a fluid motion, swiftly dodging the red yin poison scorpion's first exchange. He slid more than 10 meters to the side, then abruptly kicked off the ground with his left foot, his body shooting back like an arrow. The distance between Hong Yu and the red yin poison scorpion rapidly closed. When only 5 meters remained, Hong Yu suddenly unleashed his power. With a swish, the long spear in his hand thrust out horizontally. The killing power of a weapon like a long spear was concentrated at its tip. As Hong Yu thrust, he also twisted his wrist, causing the spear to spin. The refined steel tip instantly became a sharp gyroscope, landing on the red yin poison scorpion's side. Screech! Sparks flew as the spinning spearhead ground a gruesome scar into the scorpion's hard carapace. A woo! The red yin poison scorpion roared in fury, its 2 giant pincers sweeping across. A Tier 1 advanced wild beast was equivalent to a powerhouse at the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, and its strength was immense. This blow contained at least several thousand pounds of destructive force, enough to shatter mountains and split stones. A whooshing gale pressed down on Hong Yu, making it difficult for him to even move and causing his cheeks to sting. Hong Yu shifted his hands, holding the long spear horizontally in front of him. Bang! The massive pincer slammed into the long spear, which instantly bent into an arc. The red yin poison scorpion's second attack fell, and 2 consecutive heavy blows snapped the long spear in 2. Hong Yu was also sent flying backward. He slid a dozen or so meters before stopping himself. Glancing at his torn clothes over his abdomen, he couldn't help but spit. Damn, this beast is ferocious. Roar. Repelling Hong Yu only served to further incite the red yin poison scorpion's savagery. It charged forward again with heavy, thudding steps. This beast's strength is too great, and its defense is insane. A head-on clash is definitely not going to work. Hong Yu's eyes darted around, his mind racing. He simply tossed aside the broken spear, planted his feet, and his downcast gaze suddenly sharpened. He slowly drew his arms to his waist, locking his eyes on the red yin poison scorpion's position. The moment it raised its pincers to strike again, Hong Yu launched his long-awaited attack. Rising Dragon Fist. The Rising Dragon Fist was an advanced martial skill. With the help of Shadow Martial, Hong Yu had already cultivated it to the mastery peak, just one step away from the realm of perfection. Now, as he unleashed it, its power was even more wild and violent than Hong Lin's had been that day. Faintly, the wind generated by the punch seemed to rumble, a deep roar emanating from his very fist. The fierce wind from the punch converged on his fist. A fist of flesh and blood had instantly become a fist of solid steel. Man and scorpion finally collided. Rising Dragon, tear through the sky. Annihilate. Hong Yu let out an explosive, thunderous roar. His body leapt high into the air. In a spinning motion, he smashed his fist ruthlessly onto one of the red yin poison scorpion's massive pincers. Awoo! The red yin poison scorpion let out a wretched scream. Hong Yu's Rising Dragon Fist struck its giant pincer. The terrifying force, amplified by the power of an advanced martial skill, forcibly flipped the red yin poison scorpion over. The 1,000-pound body of the scorpion tumbled into the air. Hong Yu followed it up, positioning himself half a body length higher than the scorpion, and immediately followed with the little thunderbolt palm. The palm wind was sharp, carrying with it a rumbling thunderclap. The little thunderbolt palm, at the realm of perfection, slammed into the red yin poison scorpion's exposed underbelly as it flipped through the air. The red yin poison scorpion's ascent came to a sudden halt, and then it plummeted toward the ground like a cannonball. Bang! Its massive body crashed to the ground, creating a crater half a meter deep. The red yin poison scorpion let out a pained hiss. Even with its hard carapace, its underbelly was still a weak spot. The red yin poison scorpion was truly a Tier 1 advanced wild beast, the overlord that had dominated the Valley of the Dead for years. The intense pain, far from making it fearful, only further ignited the creature's innate savagery and bloodlust. Its 8 long, massive legs trembled as it stabilized itself, and the several blood-red eyes on its head glinted with a cold light, staring fixedly at Hong Yu. It's time. Hong Yu remained calm and composed, inwardly calculating the perfect moment. From injuring and enraging the red yin poison scorpion with the cloud-piercing arrow to this very clash, everything had been part of Hong Yu's calculations. He had done it all for this next step. In truth, Hong Yu knew that even if he advanced to the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, it would be impossible for him to kill a vicious beast like the red yin poison scorpion. His real trump card was actually the 3 traps he had laid in advance. Seeing the red yin poison scorpion charge at him once more, Hong Yu smiled inwardly, spun around, and sprinted off to the side. In that direction lay his first trap. A woo roar. Normally, with the red yin poison scorpion's cunning nature, it would never have been fooled so easily. But being wounded by Hong Yu again and again had thoroughly enraged the violent desolate beast. At this moment, there was only one thought in the red yin poison scorpion's mind: kill Hong Yu. And that played right into Hong Yu's hands. Come on, just a little closer. Hong Yu was ecstatic. Everything was proceeding exactly as planned. Roar. The red yin poison scorpion suddenly leapt high into the air, attempting to intercept Hong Yu directly. Ha ha ha, now's the time. Hong Yu abruptly halted, laughed loudly, and gathered a powerful force in his hands before slamming them onto the ground. The red yin poison scorpion was now directly above his head. In the nick of time, the vibrations from Hong Yu's palm striking the ground triggered a mechanism. With Hong Yu at the center, a full 7 crossbows suddenly rose from the ground, all aimed at the red yin poison scorpion high in the air. Hong Yu slapped the ground again, and all 7 crossbows fired simultaneously. The swish-swish of arrows breaking the wind was endless. 7 hard, azure blue arrows, exuding a bone-chilling aura, instantly struck the red yin poison scorpion, which was unable to control its body freely in midair. Awoo! The red yin poison scorpion shrieked mournfully. The 7 blue arrows struck the red yin poison scorpion at almost the same time, and a faint layer of icy blue spread across its body. This was precisely the first trap Hong Yu had gone to great lengths to prepare, the frozen trap. The arrows fired by the 7 crossbows were no ordinary projectiles. They were ice arrows, refined from condensed cold spring water. This water was so frigid that even an early-stage Earth Soul Realm expert, if hit at close range, would face being sealed in ice if they didn't deal with it immediately. Thud! The now ice-blue-red yin poison scorpion crashed heavily to the ground, sending a flurry of ice shards flying. As expected of a desolate beast, its body is truly powerful. Even 7 arrows couldn't finish you off. Watching the red yin poison scorpion shakily struggle back to its feet, Hong Yu was secretly amazed. Those cold spring ice arrows were no ordinary thing. Each one cost me 5,000 gold coins. That was over 30,000 gold coins just now, and it still didn't kill this beast. Fortunately, Hong Yu was well prepared. Snap! He pulled a fire stick from his robes and, with a flick of his finger, sent it landing not far in front of the red yin poison scorpion. A few warm sparks scattered from the fire stick. A sizzling sound suddenly erupted as a scorching wave of fire ignited on the ground. The raging sea of fire, like a flaming cage, immediately enveloped the red yin poison scorpion. Awoo! 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 The red yin poison scorpion was in agony, constantly shrieking and struggling. However, its body was frozen by the cold spring arrows, and its movements were extremely sluggish. Moreover, these were no ordinary flames. This was Hong Yu's second meticulously prepared trap, the blazing fire trap. This was a pound of earth fire yang marrow he had spent a full 50,000 gold coins to purchase. This strange substance, produced deep within volcanoes, ignited on contact with fire and had the terrifying property of being unquenchable by water, clinging to bone as it burned. The more the red yin poison scorpion struggled, the more intensely the flames burned. The fire that clung to its body was impossible to shake off. First, it was frozen by extreme cold, and then it was incinerated by blazing flames. Under the dual torment of ice and fire, through the rapid expansion and contraction, the first crack finally appeared on the red yin poison scorpion's hard carapace. Moreover, this crack continued to spread, fanning out like a spiderweb. But the red yin poison scorpion's life force was simply too tenacious. It continued to struggle madly within the sea of fire. A full half-hour later, the red yin poison scorpion's body was covered in such wounds, and streams of highly toxic blood flowed from its body. Huff, huff, the red yin poison scorpion was finally exhausted. Gravely wounded, its body collapsed heavily onto the ground. Is it finished? Hong Yu blinked, a hint of excitement showing on his face. A Tier 1 advanced wild beast, the red yin poison scorpion. This is a creature that even Earth Soul Realm experts are unwilling to face lightly. Am I really about to trick it to death? But Hong Yu didn't approach immediately. The red yin poison scorpion was notoriously cunning. This was no time to be careless. Another half-hour passed. It hasn't moved for more than 10 minutes. Looks like this thing is finally dead. Hong Yu heaved a long sigh of relief. Although the objective of this mission was the reviving grass, when facing a ferocious desolate beast like the red yin poison scorpion, Hong Yu didn't dare be careless for a moment, lest the beast counterattack while he was harvesting the grass. Fortunately, it seemed the red yin poison scorpion was truly dead. Only then did he turn and walk towards the scorpion's lair. There were 3 stalks of reviving grass, all of them mature. Hong Yu carefully picked the 3 stalks of reviving grass and placed them into the jade box he had prepared. Only then did he let out a long breath, a glint of excitement in his eyes. The reviving grass is mine. Once I go back and turn in the mission, I can ask Master Shui to help Yao Yao expel the cold poison from her body. After stowing the reviving grass, Hong Yu prepared to leave. Just then, he felt a faint sensation from the profound celestial tower within him. Hong Yu's heart skipped a beat, and his body instinctively rolled and slid several meters away. Almost simultaneously, 4 sharp arrows glinting with cold light landed one after another in the spot where he had just been. A somewhat annoyed voice sounded from behind him. "Damn it, I was so close to killing that kid." Chapter 19-17, Identity Revealed. "What a shame, I was just a hair's breadth from killing this kid." A voice filled with regret came from behind. Hong Yu's body shuddered. He recognized the speaker's identity, Hong Luan. He slowly turned around. Beneath his cold mask, his dark eyes flashed with cold fury as he stared at the young man behind him. The man, far from being concerned about his failed assassination, looked disappointed, as if lamenting the missed opportunity to kill him. "Demon Blood Squad, it's you again." The scene was remarkably similar to a past memory. Just like before, after he had painstakingly hunted his target and was about to claim the fruits of his victory, this group of people had stabbed him in the back, stealing the prize he had fought and bled for. Last time, he had been too weak and had no choice. The prey he had finally killed after crouching in wait for 5 days and 5 nights was snatched away by Hong Luan and his Demon Blood Squad. As the Demon Blood Squad trying to pull the same trick again. Rage cast a faint, bloody sheen over Hong Yu's eyes. Hong Luan, brimming with arrogant confidence, crossed his arms and stared at Hong Yu, sneering, well, if it isn't the famous Luo. "Look at him, boys. That look in his eyes, seems like he wants to kill us. Ha ha ha, I remember he had the same expression when we took that snow fox from him during the last mission. Too bad some people are just destined to be losers. Didn't that snow fox end up in our hands in the end? I heard someone waited by that freezing cold pool for 5 whole days just to hunt that snow fox. How pathetic." The other 4 remaining members of the Demon Blood Squad chimed in with their taunts. Faced with their mockery, Hong Yu gradually regained his composure and sneered back, "Hasn't the Demon Blood Squad always had 6 members? Why are there only 5 of you now?" His words were like a fly buzzing into their throats, and the smug looks on their faces instantly froze. Why were there only 5 of them left? Did he even need to ask? Hadn't Hong Yu killed the missing member just a few days ago? This was an immense humiliation for the Demon Blood Squad, a topic they had deliberately avoided. But now that Hong Yu had brought it up, it was like an invisible slap across their faces. They flushed red with shame and anger. In particular, the giant man at the 9th layer of the Essence Realm, who had previously suffered a loss at Hong Yu's hands, looked especially grim, his face as dark as still water. The twitching corner of his eye betrayed the chilling killing intent in his heart. Hong Luan narrowed his eyes as well. Since its formation, the Demon Blood Squad had never lost a single member. This was partly due to their strength, but more importantly, in a city as large as Shishui City, who didn't know the name of Hong Luan? Who dared not give the Hong family face? Yet this boy before him had repeatedly caused him to lose face. First, the boy became a silver hunter at the age of 15, breaking the record Hong Luan himself had set at 17. Then, at the Underground Alliance auction house, he had set a trap, causing him to waste 300,000 gold coins on a Yunyuan pill worth only about 100,000. And now, he had shattered the undefeated record his squad had worked so hard to build. For Hong Luan, who pursued perfection, these incidents were the greatest stains on his life, stains that could only be washed away with Hong Yu's blood. He wasted no more words. With a wave of his hand, he commanded, "Demon Blood Squad, listen up. Annihilate the Silver Hunter, Luo. To the death." "Yes, sir. Ha ha ha, I've been wanting to kill this arrogant little brat for a long time." With the captain commanding the array hub, "If we still can't take his pathetic life, I'll be damned. Die." The 4 experts formed a battle formation and charged toward Hong Yu. This time, with Hong Luan guarding the array hub and controlling the entire situation, the Demon Blood Squad's combat power more than doubled compared to their encounter a few days ago on the outskirts of the Dead Soul Mountain Range. Rolling Stone Fist, earth-shattering. The giant attacked with a killing move right from the start. Rolling Stone Fist. Just as its name suggested, the punch came crashing down like a 1,000-pound boulder falling from the sky, its momentum immense. The fist force had yet to arrive, but the violent, heavy pressure of the strike already assaulted him. The whooshing wind stung Hong Yu's cheeks as if they were being sliced by blades. Hong Yu's gaze was calm. He had already regained his composure. While keeping an eye on the shifting positions of the Demon Blood Squad's battle formation, he chose the correct path. Instead of retreating, he advanced, meeting the giant's fist with his own. That idiot! Big Bear's rolling stone fist has reached the realm of perfection. Even experts of the same realm would have to retreat before that punch, yet he dares to meet it head-on. He's simply courting death. From within the array hub, Hong Luan remained calm and arrogant, his gaze toward Hong Yu filled with disdain and contempt. He was well aware of the giant, Big Bear's, strength and believed Hong Yu was seeking his own doom. The same thought was on the minds of everyone in the Demon Blood Squad. However, this time, they were destined for disappointment. When Big Bear's usually unstoppable rolling stone fist collided with Hong Yu's punch, the expected scene of Hong Yu's arm being shattered by the immense force did not occur. The large and small fists clashed, sharp as a needle against a wheat awn. The two powerful forces made both fighters shudder violently. They were evenly matched. How is this possible? Damn it, how is this kid so strong? Just moments ago, they had been certain of Hong Yu's defeat. Now, they were all dumbfounded, speechless, and unable to accept this outcome. The giant, Big Bear, was overcome with shame and rage. The same boy who once couldn't even withstand a casual punch from him was now repeatedly causing him to lose face. It was an utter humiliation. He let out a low roar. Rolling stone fist, second technique, stone movement of the 8 desolates. Rolling stone fist was an advanced martial skill with 3 techniques, each more powerful than the last. If the first technique, earth-shattering, was a clash of mountain-breaking stone-shattering power, then the second technique, stone movement of the 8 desolates, was a confrontation of dark force. As Big Bear executed this move, the muscles on his arm writhed. His biceps and triceps swelled abruptly, and 3 successive waves of dark force surged through their connected fists and into Hong Yu's body. What was dark force? Just as the name implied, it was a force unleashed covertly, designed to destroy an enemy from the inside. It was almost impossible to defend against. Countless experts had been defeated by this move of Big Bear's. Even experts of a higher realm could pay a heavy price if caught unaware. Such terrifying dark force. Hong Yu's expression changed slightly. He clearly felt a powerful and destructive dark force seep into his arm. The bones in his joints made a cracking sound. If he let this dark force continue to rampage, his arm would be crippled in moments. I can't hold back anymore. Hong Yu took a deep breath. He took a slight half-step back, his body leaning back an inch, and then suddenly surged forward, unleashing his power. As this move unfolded, Hong Luan, positioned at the array hub behind the Demon Blood Squad, felt a sense of déjà vu. He muttered in confusion, "Is that the Rising Dragon Fist? How could he know a martial skill of my Hong family?" While he was still puzzled, Hong Yu had already activated the Dharma Gate of the Rising Dragon Fist. He cleverly redirected the dark force that had penetrated his body, guiding it back out along the powerful path of the Rising Dragon Fist. Rising Dragon, tear the sky. Roar across the void. Hong Yu let out a low roar. His fist technique was like a dragon, his stance like a towering mountain peak. The powerful fist force directly sent the giant, Big Bear, flying. Big Bear's massive body was thrown high into the air. Hong Yu bent his knees slightly, then pushed off the ground, spinning as he caught up to Big Bear again and smashed an even more ferocious punch into the stunned giant. Bam! The huge giant flew backward like a kite with its string cut. Hong Yu's punch had struck his chin. The giant's entire lower jaw was twisted, the bones completely shattered. He crashed heavily to the ground, unable to get back up. Hiss! Seeing this, the members of the Demon Blood Squad all hesitated, their movements faltering, expressions of horror on their faces. Huff! Huff! Hong Yu landed back on the ground, gasping for breath. That desperate counterattack had been an immense test of both his body and mind, consuming a massive amount of his stamina. Among the onlookers, if one had to say who was the most shocked, it was undoubtedly Hong Luan. His brows were tightly furrowed, his gloomy gaze sweeping over Hong Yu. Who on earth are you? Why do you know a martial skill of my Hong family? Beneath his mask, Hong Yu's eyes flashed, and he replied slowly, his tone mocking, haven't you already guessed? Stop playing mysterious. I don't care who you are. You're not leaving the Valley of the Dead alive today, Hong Luan said, infuriated. If Hong Yu had directly revealed his identity or tried to hide it, he could have accepted it. But Hong Yu's noncommittal remark made him feel as uncomfortable as if he had swallowed a fly. His face darkened. Wasting no more words, he ordered the remaining 3 members to surround and attack Hong Yu. Even Hong Luan, who usually commanded from the rear, personally joined the fray. Hong Luan's personal entry into the battle greatly increased the pressure on Hong Yu. With the other 3 being experienced hunters, all at the 7th layer of the Essence Realm or higher, Hong Yu found himself struggling to fend off their combined assault. The kid's about to break. Put your backs into it. I'm gonna kick his balls till they burst. The members of the Demon Blood Squad revealed their bloodthirsty madness. The Demon Blood Squad's formidable reputation is well earned. Dragging this fight on will only put me at a disadvantage. I have to find a way to end this quickly. As Hong Yu fought, his mind raced, and he began to strategize a way to deal with the Demon Blood Squad. In the midst of battle, Hong Yu inadvertently glanced at the lifeless red yin poison scorpion, and a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. He fought as he retreated, moving toward the corpse of the red yin poison scorpion. His movements were so subtle that even the experienced experts of the Demon Blood Squad failed to notice. Almost there, Hong Yu rejoiced internally, about to reach his destination. However, just at that moment of distraction, he failed to defend against a sky-breaking palm power strike from Hong Luan. It hit him in the face. With a crack sound, his hard mask split in 2. A handsome, youthful face was exposed to the Demon Blood Squad. When Hong Luan saw the face hidden behind the mask, his expression changed drastically. Hong Yu, it's you. Chapter 20-18. Am I going to die? How could it be you? Hong Luan asked in disbelief. Although he had previously heard that Hong Yu had defeated Hong Lin, Hong Luan hadn't asked for too many details. In his eyes, Hong Lin was only at the 7th layer of the Essence Realm, so Hong Yu's strength couldn't be that impressive. Furthermore, Hong Lin was unwilling to speak of his humiliating experience, and Hong Tian seemed to have his own reservations, suppressing all news of that battle. Thus, in Hong Luan's mind, Hong Yu's strength was at the peak of the 7th level of the Essence Realm at most. He hadn't given Hong Yu a second thought. But now, looking at the Hong Yu who had appeared before him, Hong Luan, for the first time, felt a sense of panic and trepidation before a peer, a feeling he had only ever experienced when facing those 5 particular people in the clan. How could it be Hong Yu? He's just a disciple from a side branch. Even if Tiger Steward holds him in high regard, how could he possess such immense strength? Hong Luan's mind was in chaos. When he was Hong Yu's age, he had just barely stepped into the 7th layer of the Essence Realm. But now, at that same age, Hong Yu had accomplished something he himself was only capable of now. How could this not shock him? Unconsciously, another of the young man's identities surfaced in his mind. Luo, the youngest silver hunter in Shishui City's Underground Alliance in 100 years. The Underground Alliance was different from the Hong family. It was a dark and brutal organization. To carve out a place for oneself there, one could only rely on absolute strength, with no room for luck or fluke. Even with Hong Luan's status, his promotion to Silver Hunter had been built upon one mission after another, an accumulation of life and death battles. For Hong Yu to reach the rank of Silver Hunter at such a young age, there was absolutely no chance it was a fluke. And he was only 15 years old. In contrast, he himself had been a full 17 years old when he became a Silver Hunter, and even that had tied a record that had stood for nearly 30 years. Because of this achievement, Hong Luan's status among the young masters of the Hong family had steadily risen, placing him second only to those 5 dazzlingly brilliant individuals among the disciples of his generation. Yet Hong Yu had reached this level at only 15, and he was countless times stronger than Hong Luan had been at the same age. Perhaps only those 5 could have suppressed him at the same age. Though unwilling, Hong Luan had to admit that among the Hong family disciples of their generation, only those 5 celestial pride sons he looked up to could compare to Hong Yu. At this thought, the shock in Hong Luan's heart vanished, replaced by a blood-red glint of venomous hatred in his eyes as he looked at Hong Yu. With his talent, strength, and the resilience he's shown by holding back all these years, if I let him continue to grow, he'll become an existence just like those 5. When that happens, I'll be ruthlessly crushed under his foot with no hope of ever recovering. Today, even if I have to sacrifice the entire Demon Blood squad, I must eliminate him." Hong Luan swore viciously in his heart. In scholarship, there is no first. In martial arts, there is no second. The Hong family distributed resources based solely on strength and talent. But the total amount of resources was fixed. If a new genius emerged, more resources would naturally be diverted to them, affecting the status and power of others. Right now, there were only 5 people of his generation in the Hong family who stood above Hong Luan. But if Hong Yu was allowed to mature, that number would become 6, severely impacting Hong Luan's position and development within the family. Whether out of jealousy or fear, Hong Luan had already branded Hong Yu with one absolute imperative in his mind: must be killed. Kill him, no matter the cost, Hong Luan roared. The members of the Demon Blood squad felt their captain's chilling killing intent and raging fury. Their hearts grew cold, but they didn't hesitate, launching their most frenzied attacks. The moment he revealed his identity, Hong Yu had anticipated this scene. He sighed. As expected, they won't allow an anomaly like me to exist. However, a sharp glint flashed in Hong Yu's eyes. I've endured enough over the years. Today, I'll use your blood, Hong Luan, to begin my path of reversal. Why had Hong Yu hidden his identity as Luo? Wasn't it precisely because he feared that being too conspicuous would attract the jealousy and suppression of the other high-status members of the direct lineage? But recent events had made him understand that forbearance alone could not ward off trouble. The only way to solve the problem once and for all was to display sufficient strength shocking enough to shatter the spirits of those who lurked in the shadows and to gain the attention of the clan's upper echelons. If he didn't possess enough talent, how could he have earned Tiger Instructor's high regard? If Tiger Instructor hadn't valued him, he would have died from a casual strike by the 7th Elder, Hong Tian, in the previous battle. Hong Yu would endure it no longer. He would stage a comeback. A powerful comeback, where he would viciously stomp on those who looked down on him from their lofty positions. And the only way to achieve this was through slaughter. This path of reversal would begin with Hong Luan. Little Thunderbolt Palm. Hong Yu struck out with a palm. The palm wind was fierce, carrying the faint, rolling sound of thunder. The roaring palm force howled forward, striking an expert at the 7th layer of the Essence Realm who had drawn near. Having now reached the realm of perfection, the little Thunderbolt Palm was even more powerful. The moment it landed, the dense palm force exploded. Wah! The expert at the 7th layer of the Essence Realm was sent flying backward, spitting blood as he collapsed, unable to get up. With the first strike a success, Hong Yu didn't linger, immediately retreating to the side. Just then, an expert at the 8th layer of the Essence Realm launched a sneak attack at the spot where Hong Yu had just been standing, but he missed. Seizing the opportunity created by the missed attack, Hong Yu shot forward, this time using the basic boxing technique. As he threw a punch, the man, rich in combat experience, raised his arm to block. A glint flashed in Hong Yu's eyes. He calmly changed his move, shifting from a fist to a claw and grabbing the man's arm. Get lost. Hong Yu spun around, his back to the expert from the 8th layer of the Essence Realm. He kicked off with both legs, and as his waist twisted, immense power erupted. With an incredibly sharp shoulder throw, he violently flung the man through the air. Hong Yu never let go. He felt not a shred of mercy for the experts of the Demon Blood squad who had tried to kill him again and again. Bang! The man was smashed heavily onto the ground. Dazed and confused, he was once again thrown into the air by Hong Yu, crashing directly into another expert at the 7th layer. A crisp cracking sound rang out as the two men collided, the number of broken bones unknown. I'll take your lives while you're weak. Hong Yu lunged forward, executing 2 consecutive sweeping 1,000-soldier strikes, both landing squarely on the 2 men's heads. Crack, crack. With 2 sharp cracks, the men's heads lolled to the side, all signs of life gone. Whoosh! A light breeze blew past, carrying the smell of blood and a heavy atmosphere. The breeze swirled, lifting a few withered yellow leaves from the ground, creating an indescribably bleak scene. Inside the Valley of the Dead, amidst the white bones, too cold, lifeless corpses, and 2 dying experts from the Demon Blood Squad. Only the handsome young man and Hong Luan remained. Now, only you are left. Hong Yu slightly raised his arm, pointing at Hong Luan from a distance. Hong Luan narrowed his eyes, never having imagined that the Demon Blood Squad he had worked so hard to build would be defeated so quickly. He slowly walked toward the heavily injured Da Shang and the other man, his cold face unchanging. Slowly, he lifted his leg. Useless trash. As his leg came down, 2 living souls were extinguished. After killing 2 of his own men in succession, Hong Luan's expression remained unchanged. He slowly untied his upper garment, revealing a muscular torso covered in countless scars as he took it off. His flat voice was devoid of any emotion. I am Hong Luan, 19 years old. I began cultivating at 10, was promoted to Silver Hunter at 17, and broke through to the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm at 19. In the past 10+ years, I have fought in no fewer than 100 major battles. In my eyes, among all the peers in the vast Hong family, there are only 5 people worthy of my serious consideration. But today, I must add another name to that list. He tossed the clothing aside, casting off his arrogant demeanor. His expression became as cold and fierce as a fierce beast's. Hong Yu, you should be proud to die by my hands. Oh, we haven't even fought, yet you're so certain you can kill me. Hong Yu licked the corner of his lip, a bloodthirsty battle intent showing in his eyes. Hong Luan nodded. I admit, you are very strong. For a mere member of a side branch to be able to cultivate to such a realm, you are truly an anomaly. It's just a pity that your status has doomed your future to darkness. Even if I don't act, other members of the direct lineage will still come to kill you. If we're going to fight, then let's get to it. Last time, you defeated me in 3 moves and took the snow fox I worked so hard to hunt. Today, we'll settle all our scores, new and old. Hong Yu said, I respect your talent, therefore, I will now use my strongest technique to execute you. Hong Luan took a deep breath, and a terrifying aura surged from within his body. A faint red light enveloped his body. His voice, filled with the pride of a genius, rang out, the martial skill I cultivate is called Blazing Fire Dragon. It is a top-level martial skill. Today, I'll let you be buried by it. First technique, Heaven Burning Flames. Hong Luan moved. His speed was as fast as wind and lightning. Moreover, his martial skill, Blazing Fire Dragon, carried a scorching, incinerating effect. Even an ordinary cultivator at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm would be unwilling to face such an attack. Watching Hong Luan charge at him like a flaming meteor, Hong Yu's essence, chi, and spirit focused as never before. Facing an expert like Hong Luan, the slightest lapse in concentration could cost him his life. Rising Dragon Fist. One was scorching like a flame, the other as ferocious as a flood dragon. Both were determined to kill the other. There was no maneuvering or evasion, just a head-on clash. Boom! A scorching whirlwind erupted, sending sand and stones flying within a radius of dozens of meters. Bang! Both were thrown backward by the impact. Excellent, excellent. To have practiced the Rising Dragon Fist to the realm of perfection, such talent is truly enviable. However, you won't escape my grasp today. Hong Luan sneered repeatedly and attacked again, this time with his famous absolute skill. Suffer my wrath. Second technique, Fire Dragon's Fury. The might of a top-level martial skill was extraordinary. Watching the vast flaming long dragon envelop him, Hong Yu realized he had no way to dodge. But to take the full force blow of a top-level martial skill unleashed by a cultivator at the peak of the 9th layer of the Essence Realm head-on would surely lead to a tragic end. Unable to dodge, unable to block, a thread of despair clouded his mind. In his pupils, the fire dragon grew larger and larger, on the verge of swallowing him whole. What should I do? Hong Yu's heart filled with helplessness and despair. Am I going to die?